Hello, hello. Ah, glorious. You gotta love this. Some nice cheaper shares for Christmas. Some cheaper shares for Christmas? Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate it, buddy. What's up, Unknown? What's up, bro? We missed you yesterday. Hope you're doing good. Is that all-time highs on the video? I don't know. 200's all-time highs. Or 206 or something like that. Fixing the house. Nice. What happened? Hopefully nothing major. Hopefully nothing major. Upgrading? Oh, hell yeah. That's sick, bro. That's awesome. I love to hear that. That's great. I need to do that to my house. I just don't. One day. Happy kind of Friday. Is the market open tomorrow? I don't really know what I forget what happens during Christmas time. Is it a short day tomorrow? 1/2 day? Okay. And then Christmas is Friday closed too? Because Friday is after Christmas, right? Is Friday closed? Open Friday? Okay. I wasn't sure. But what's up, Moose? Hope you're doing good. Hope you're excited for the holidays. The holidays. You can tell I'm so festive. Look at me. My Christmas sweater. Christmas sweater on. It's as red as the stock. I think the stock might be redder than the Christmas sweater. Whoa, that rhymed. My stock is redder than my Christmas sweater. Damn. I just made a new carol, bro. I just made a new Christmas carol. Live. My stock is redder than my Christmas sweater thanks to Ryan Cohen. Ryan Cohen diluted my shares again. Oh my god, will it ever end? Got my shopping done yesterday. Mall was nuts. Really? Dude, I haven't been in a mall in... I couldn't even tell you the last time I went to a mall, we went to this like aquarium that was in the mall. But we didn't go around the mall really. Or wait, did we? I think we did actually. That was like a year ago, so I guess it hasn't been as long as I think. It's been a long time though. It's been a long time since I've actually gone shopping at a mall. My stock is redder than my Christmas sweater. Thanks to Ryan Cohen. Ryan Cohen, thank you for dropping my share price. Oh my god, he put me on the naughty, not the nice list twice. I don't know. I saw this. I thought this was really interesting. I didn't know GameStop had SSD cards. I think these are new. But these are some of the cheapest SSD cards you can get on the market, I guess. Supposedly. And their GameStop brand. So I thought that was pretty cool. I saw these the other day, and it's the first time I've ever seen them. And I think I saw an article that said they're some of the cheapest SSDs you can buy. Why is GME down? Because stocks go down? Is this your first time participating in... I know it's not, but is this your first time participating in the stock market? Stocks go down, stocks go up, and then they go down again, and then they go up again. Thank you. That was your stock lesson today with Corey. Hopefully you learned something. I'm sorry. I just can't take that question seriously. Like, if I don't know, that's not a serious question. You should be happy the stock's down. You ever think about that? You should be happy it's down. Yeah, it says GameStop sells cheapest 1TB SSD you can buy right now. Own brand PCI SD costs only $90, 40% less than rivals on Amazon and Newegg. So that's kind of cool. I think it's pretty cool that they made their own SSD cards. I swear these are brand new though too. It says GameStop selling a 1TB blah, blah, with included heatsink. Puts it below most comparable 1TB drives from more established brands. GameStop's drive uses PCIe Gen 4x4 NVMe 1.4 and is rated for read speeds up to 7,400 megabytes per second and write speeds up to 6,400 megabytes per second. Those figures place it firmly in the upper tier of fast SSDs, at least based on advertised performance. The integrated heatsink is included by default, which removes the need for aftermarket cooling. Yeah, so interesting. It's like GameStop is a low-key a tech company, bro. It's low-key a tech company. It's a hybrid. Matt Romano! What's up, Matt Romano? Been a while. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're excited for the holidays. Rosh! What's up, Rosh? Yeah, I bought more today, too. Thanks, Ryan Cohen, for the cheaper prices. Gotta thank Ryan Cohen for the cheaper prices. What a guy. What a guy. I don't know who to thank. Do we thank Ryan Cohen or do we thank the short sellers? I'm not really sure who we thank. I'm gonna say Ryan. Although the SSD is marketed by GameStop for PlayStation 5 upgrades, it's certainly not limited to console use. Uses a standard M.2 2280 form factor and can be installed in desktops or laptops that support PCIe. Gen 4 storage. For PC users, it works as a general purpose high-speed drive for creative uses, large files, or everyday system storage. Compared to name brand alternatives, the savings are massive. Even popular 1TB Gen 4 SSDs with heatsink often cost considerably more despite offering similar peak speeds. The price gap is even wider when looking at larger capacities. GameStop sells a 2TB version of the same drive for $150, which undercuts many 2TB rivals by an even larger margin. There are some unknowns, of course. GameStop doesn't publish detailed info about the controller, NAND type, or endurance ratings. Long-term reliability data and sustained performance under heavy loads aren't listed, so can't be compared to drives for better-known storage manufacturers. Still, for buyers looking for value rather than just brand recognition, GameStop's 1TB and 2TB SSDs are definitely worth considering. How much does a 1TB SSD usually cost? Like 120? Wow. So yeah, it's like significantly cheaper. Interesting. Significantly cheaper. My stock is redder than my Christmas sweater. What is that? Oh, it's not a... Okay. Both? Fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, I'm both. Yeah, I'm both. So yeah, if anyone's in the market for an SSD, this could be worth looking into. Maybe. Who knows? What if it's actually really good? Like, I don't know. I don't know. Could be good. You never know. Matt Romano, if you're still here, you know a lot about Pokemon. Isn't this like a good deal for Super Prismatic Evolution Super Premium? Isn't like 190 a good deal for that? I'm surprised this hasn't sold out. Because I saw on eBay they were selling for like 240, 220-ish. But this still just sits here on their website. I'm surprised it's not selling out. Like, from my perspective, it's a good Pokemon investment, and it's weird that people aren't buying it, but I don't know, maybe $200 is overvalued? Like, I don't know. Just seems weird. Like, if I was interested in Pokemon, I would be buying that, I think, as an investment. The Christmas sweater's kind of hot. I don't know if I can wear this. Shit's too hot, bro. It's too hot. Oh. Maybe if I take the red sweater off, the stock will go up. Who knows? It's too hot, bro. I guess Matt Romano's not here. All good, all good. And GameStop has their own micro SDs, which I already knew that. I already knew they had that. But I swear the SSDs are new. Oh yeah, did anyone see their new video they posted on YouTube? The Christmas Carol? I thought that was funny. Shit's great.
It was the night before Christmas. All through the shop, the prices kept dropping, and they simply won't stop. And the shelves, they were filled with the greatest of care, in hopes that all the gamers would soon be there. And the fans were all nestled quite snug in their beds, while visions of power-ups danced in their heads. We're open for business with deals you should see, like toys and collectibles. Buy two, get one free. And what to my wondering eyes should appear the best gaming bargains you'll find all year. And if you're looking for classics, here's a deal for the win. Get 4 games under $5 for only a 10. From the front of the store to the back of the wall. Dash away, now save on them all. And for Hello Kitty fans, there's a smile on the shelf. Sanrio's buy one, get one 50% off. Treat yourself. And if you want something new,
treat yourself.
I have just the right thing to make every controller and console ring. Buy 2 new games and save $10 today. So fly like the wind. Go home and play. So come into GameStop. We've got all that you need. With prices and treasures at lightning fast speeds. And you'll hear us exclaim as we turn out the lights. Happy gaming to all, and to all a good night.
Wow. Fantastic. Fantastic. Would I what? I don't know what you're asking. The share price keeps dropping and it simply won't stop. Yes. Oh shit. Oh man, dude, look at this. This guy wrote a whole fucking poem or whole fucking 2 paragraphs about why. Oh my god, bro. People are fucking babies, bro. Oh, my share price is dropping. Fucking pussies, bro. Fucking pussies. Man the fuck up. God. Crazy. Crazy world we live in. Or I guess I should say crazy stock we're invested in. Where everyone's so bullish and so excited for the investment, but as soon as it starts dropping, the tone changes pretty quick. Lots of haters on X the last 24 hours too. Damn. It's pretty interesting. I mean, the more people that are upset about the investment, the better. Get those fucking origami hand pussies out of my stock. They're fucking origami hands. They're paper swan hands. Realistically, it's not even people who are invested in the stock, though. It's probably someone who bought, like, yesterday and their butt hurt that their trade didn't work. Like, that's the reality of it. Most people aren't sitting in this stock like a lot of us, I would imagine. And if they are, they probably literally have like 10 shares. Like, why won't it go to the moon? I'm trying to get rich off 10 shares. It's like, bro, come on. Come on, bro. There's nothing to talk about, bro. Christmas time is boring. There's nothing going on. Crypto is interesting. The short interest hasn't updated in like a month. It's very weird. Usually updates every 2 weeks. Haven't seen an update on this. Very odd. I don't think there's any whales. Oops. Yeah. Whole lot of nothing going on. Why isn't this working? There we go. Yeah, some insider buying. Nothing crazy though. AutoZone insider. It's always interesting to see insider buying on the more popular companies, higher market caps and stuff. So seeing an AutoZone insider buy is kind of interesting. I haven't looked at that stock in a long time. Surprised they haven't stock split it. Oh, I see why there's an insider buy on there. That's probably actually a potentially good price for that. Let's see. I mean, I probably would never buy it, but curious to see what their balance sheet looks like. What the heck? What the heck? They don't have a filing? That's weird. That's pretty weird. Only 20 billion in assets? Bro. Anytime I look at another company, I'm always just like so amazed. Like, whenever I look at any other company, it seems like GameStop's so undervalued. Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm wrong, but every time I look at anything else, like these guys, there's no shareholder value on this. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, yeah, that's weird. Yeah, it doesn't seem undervalued or anything like that, but 57 billion market cap, kind of interesting. What else is there? Anything else to look at? I'm just trying to... Honestly, I don't have any plans for this stream. I'm just chilling. I was just curious to see who would come in. Oh, there's a few AutoZone insider buys. Another one right there. Get in the zone. AutoZone. Salesforce, CRM. I saw that one. $250 billion. Good lord. 250. I've seen a lot of crying on Reddit too. Like I said, we're either about to lose a bunch of money or the stock's about to rip. Very weird. And you're like sitting basically at that longer term trend line that I mean, you sold off from it again, like 6-7%, but you're still like right there, about to pass through it. So it's very interesting timing on the stock right now. See, at least something like this has stockholder equity. That AutoZone was weird. There's no stockholder equity on there. Doop-de-doop-de-doo. Anyone got anything exciting going on for Christmas? Eating some Christmas cookies and holiday hearts. Some would say that's how the holiday starts. That's what I've heard. Yeah, you rejected that trend line again. Last time you sold off like 9%. So far, this time around, you've sold off 7%. So either you're about to absolutely flush or it should bounce around here. Because that sell-off off of this trend line should get smaller and smaller. If it's bullish. If it's bullish. That's kind of interesting. That's actually pretty interesting. Then you can go back over here. The last time you, even before, you sold off like 20% off here. I don't know when that was, a while ago. So that's what you'd want to see. You know, you'd want to see the sell-off on that longer term trend line where people have been shorting. You'd want to see it get shorter and shorter. So yeah, I would expect it to bounce here, I think. But if it's not going to, I mean, there's a lot of downside. Because normally you sell off that line, you know, like I said, like 20%. I think you've sold off 30% at times off that line, so that's actually pretty interesting. Yeah, the warrants are back at 290. That's crazy. That's actually pretty nuts. Back at 290 on the warrants. That's wild. That's pretty wild. You almost filled the gap on the warrants. I don't know if that applies on options or warrants, whatever, but kind of notable, I guess. Kind of notable. Deciding. I mean, the the warrant value is like 296. That's the intrinsic value of the warrants, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's what they talk about in the earnings report. So you're actually under the intrinsic value of the warrants. That's notable, I guess. I don't know how notable that is. It has been like a couple months since they've been out, so you would expect some value loss there just with time. But still, you are at the intrinsic value of the warrants as well. So there's actually a couple factors where potentially it could bounce here. Kind of interesting. I'm going to be a degenerate. Call me a degenerate. Say I won't. Motherfucker. I hate when it does that. That shit's annoying. When they jack the price a penny right when I put my order in. That shit's always annoying. That shit's always annoying. Could the warrants be a good buy here too? I don't know. I mean, I guess if you're expecting a decent amount of upside, the warrants were up like 30, or weren't they up? They were up a lot. I don't remember exactly. They were up a lot. I need this thingy. Yeah, you were up like 40% on the warrants. So for a higher percentage trade off of here, you could buy the warrants, but I don't know. I don't really like options. Honestly, if you're going to buy anything, the options probably would be the better choice. Some of these options are pretty cheap right now. Like you can get, wow, the January 25th, 25 calls are $3.90. That's actually pretty impressive. That would be playing off of the warrant expiration catalyst, potentially. Potential catalyst. If they expire worthless, maybe these could come back. Who knows? Yeah, you were up on, wow. Yeah, the warrant's up a little bit more, actually, percentage-wise. The only thing with the options is I don't really plan on trading next year, so it'd be like I'd be buying an option just hoping that it would be above 30 so I could exercise it, or 32, whatever. Because if you bought the 25 call, well, yeah, 30, because you'd buy the 25 call for $4, your break even would be about 29. So you'd want it to be above 29 by the expiration, which is a year from now. I mean, it's definitely possible. It's definitely possible. That one spreads weird. I like never look at options. That's 370. Wow. The December 25s are trading the same price as the January almost. That's kind of notable. Usually these options aren't priced very well though. I just don't know that it's worth it. Could just YOLO the shares. See what happens. It's just if it drops more, that's where it sucks, because then I don't have cash. But there's a lot of factors of why it could bounce here. A lot of factors. I don't know. Options are dog shit. I don't really want to buy options. They seem cheap, though, compared to normal. They seem cheap. Oh yeah, that video I posted flopped, bro. Kind of sad. Kind of sad. I spent a lot of, I mean, not a lot of time, but a decent amount of time on that Okay Know Me video. It just goes to show that, I guess it's doing okay. For some reason, nobody like hits the like button on these videos. Doesn't really make sense. I mean, nobody really hits the like button in general, I don't think. Probably just have to tell them to, but ultimately I don't want to. I guess it's doing okay, but for how much time I spent on that video, not the best. Not the best. It's like all these other shitty stream clips that I just did in one take are doing exponentially better than... I spent a decent amount of time editing that video, even though I didn't put anything extra in it to make it seem better. Still kind of a rough draft. Still spent a lot of time on it. What else? Insider buying. These are all from a little bit ago. And why is Nerdy always on here? It's so weird. Plug Power? Really? A Plug Power insider buy? That's weird. Yeah. From what I remember, that's not worth that. Jeez. Is there any news or like anything? Is there anything to do today? Trump administration to start seizing pay of defaulted student loan borrowers. Start garnishing the wages of student loan borrowers in default. Be the first time a portion of borrowers' paychecks have been at risk since the beginning of the pandemic. January 7th, Education Department expects around 1,000 defaulted student loan borrowers to receive notices of administrative wage garnishment. Number of notified borrowers will continue to increase. Government has extraordinary collection powers of federal debts, can seize borrowers' federal tax refunds, wages, and Social Security and disability. Education Department can seize up to 15% of student loan holders' after-tax income to put towards their debt. Borrowers must be left with at least 30 times federal minimum hourly wage a week, which is $217.50. Student loan holders have been under pressure from weakening labor market. More than 5 million student loan borrowers are currently in default, and that total could swell to roughly 10 million soon. 52 million Americans hold student loans. Outstanding debt exceeds 1.6 trillion. Interesting. Southwest's profits are down 42% this year, but it's the top airline stock. I saw someone was talking about shorting airlines. Haven't airlines been absolutely crushing? I guess since April they have, but nothing like crazy. double on American Airlines. Gold and silver reach fresh high. Jim Beam closing Kentucky distillery. I saw the funniest, or I heard the funniest joke on Kill Tony yesterday. Oh man, so good. It was about cards. It's like it's like rich people have heavier credit cards so they can bust down their cocaine better. I thought that shit was so funny. Oh man. All right, so nothing there. Epic gamer grandma dead at 78 years old. Damn, isn't that the lady that was playing Skyrim or something like that? Epic gamer grandma. Maybe I don't know who this is. I thought maybe the Skyrim grandma is someone different. Oh, the news sucks so bad. Jake Paul camp suing over fixed fight claims. Lawyers are actively going after people who claim Jake's fight with Anthony Joshua is fixed. Okay. Clearly wasn't fixed, but... Okay. The internet's even dumber than I thought. Who's Adam the Woo? I don't know if I know who this is. Shoe on Head posted a video.
Welcome him.
Yeah, I don't think I can watch Shoe on Head. Isn't this the first video she uploaded in a while? You guys ever watch Shoe on Head? She's alright.
When you've got a classic ride, you need tools you trust. Whether you drive it every day...
Ho, ho, ho! It is I, a jolly elf from the North Pole, here to do Santa's bidding. Let's see if you are on the nice or naughty list this year, huh? Oh, that is a interesting internet history. Naughty list. Hell even. But don't you worry, Santa has a special gift for you. Ah, yes, here it is. Merry Christmas. Man-made horrors beyond your comprehension. Now, I know what you are probably thinking. A dating app for children? There's gotta be more to that, right? That can't be it. We're not at that level yet, right?
It's been compared to Tinder, but for young teens. Wiz is an app where users as young as 12 years old can swipe and meet new friends randomly, and it can be a minefield.
There's a lot of weird people on there. They like to ask for nudes.
The Canadian Centre for Child Protection says it has received more than 180 reports about Wiz in the last year and a half.
So I did a little research and found that Wiz is actually a lot worse than people think it is. And it's also not the first or the last of its kind. In fact, there are shockingly many, many dating apps for kids out there, or friendship apps, as they like to call themselves. So in this video, we are going to talk about the rising disturbing trend of these friendship apps, and then we're going to actually look at what is happening inside these friendship apps. I actually posted about this on Twitter the other day, and people were like bamboozled that this was actually a real thing.
I follow Shu, and she's so funny. Like, sometimes she'll just comment on something, and it just blows my mind. Like, how did you find this?
I don't find it. It finds me. There is so much insanity happening on the news every single day. I try to bring you guys the craziest stories, but honestly, it gets hard to keep up. Thankfully, I have an app for that. So before we get into this deep dive, stand on the teen beard because out apparently headlord howling out right you a call you are creating this video. And now original Tinder for kids. No, I'm not joking. Tinder used to have a 13 to 17 section. Kinder, if you will. Tinder eventually got rid of it in 2016, but the market for a Tinder for kids was apparently still there. So it wasn't long before people saw dollar signs and created their own friendship apps. There are many friendship apps on the App Store for minors, like Yubo, Hoop, Perp, Scoot, Badoo. What in the f***ing Dr. S. Seuss is this? The Skadoos were on their Badoo app, sending their whoos pictures of their kazoos. Listen, back in my day, we didn't have Tinder for kids, okay? We had wholesome gangs on Habbo Hotel and Club Penguin. Whatever happened to getting good old-fashioned groomed on Skype? The main friendship app currently making headlines right now is Wiz. Wiz, the Tinder for kids app, exposes kids to predators. Congress must act. Congress? Half of Congress is probably on this f***ing app. You expect me to believe the government currently protecting Jeffrey Epstein is going to do something about the Jeffrey Epstein app? New York City teens told the Post that Wiz, which is available to users 13 and older, is similar to a dating app in the way you swipe through profiles, and that some underage users are relying on it to arrange hookups with strangers, including adults. It's like Tinder for kids, a 16-year-old high school senior from Manhattan told the Post. Like, literally, when you think of Tinder, that's what it is. Trying to hook up or, like, date. Many of the profile photos are thirst traps, with girls in sports bras and boys posting shirtless selfies. It's marketed as a wholesome app when it's actually not a wholesome app. There have already been multiple arrests across the country of adult predators sexually assaulting teens they met on the app. In Washington, a 23-year-old man was charged with rape earlier this year after meeting up with a 12-year-old girl on Wiz. The victim told police he claimed to be 15. A 19-year-old Marine in Hawaii was charged with sexually assaulting an 11-year-old girl he met on the app. And a 27-year-old Chicago man is facing charges for sexually assaulting several teenage girls he met on Wiz while also pretending to be a teen. In 2024, Florida's Department of Law Enforcement arrested a 20-year-old man for using a computer to solicit a minor, after investigation revealed he was speaking to a 14-year-old girl on Wiz while purporting to be 16. Okay, so not only like 20-something-year-old adults were pretending to be younger, but younger people were pretending to be older. How the f*** is there no age verification on this app? At Wiz, the safety and well-being of our teen users is our highest priority. Oh, that's good to hear. Wiz uses sophisticated AI safety algorithms for age verification. You what? You're relying on AI for the safety of children on your website? May I remind you, we are still in the very early stages of AI. It's nowhere near where it has to be to handle important things like this, to handle verifying people's ages on a dating website for minors. What the f***?
Really, Wiz is designed to connect kids with strangers. And furthermore, they allow both kids or both teens and adults onto the app. And they claim that they separate the kids from the adults by robust age verification tools. But I personally have tested those tools, and 3 times, every single time I tested them, I was able to create an account as a 16-year-old, and I was put into a category where I was encouraged to date 15 to 17-year-olds.
Like, tell me why I saw a 20-something-year-old say they were 16 and easily get into Wiz.
Verify your age. To make sure you connect with people your age, we need to verify yours. Age verified. That didn't take...
Or this 20-something-year-old that said they were 15.
Age verification. Age verified 分手账. What is that?
What's at stake here is that adults, particularly adult men, can pose as 15-year-old boys and hook up with teenage girls or teenage boys for that matter. It's as simple as that. Stephen Balcom, founder of the Family Online Safety Institute, told the Post. Stephen Balcom was able to sign up for Wiz as a teen. Oh wow, he must look pretty young. Oh no. It's honestly just incredible to me that this idea was pitched to people like Tinder for kids, and nobody in that boardroom immediately got up and punched that guy in the head. This idea should have never been spoken into the world. This is a curse upon our lands. The CEO should be trapped inside of a crystal for 1,000 years. So who are the geniuses behind Wiz? Let's take a look. Oh, it's just a bunch of nerds. I don't know what I was expecting, honestly. Okay, so the CEO, Thomas Don... Can I say that? Now I know what you're thinking, and yes, he is French. It's always the French behind this shit. Cutie is now this. It's seriously time we start asking the French question. Believe it or not, this is not the first time Wiz has been under fire. Last year, Apple actually had to remove it from the App Store because of extortion controversies. Apple removed the app Tuesday after the National Center of Sexual Exploitation contacted the company with concerns about the alleged use of Wiz in extortion scams. Extortion is an increasingly common online crime in which people are enticed to send sexually explicit photos. Once the photos are sent, the receiver of the images threatens to share them online or with family or friends unless the victim sends money. John Sheehan, Senior Vice President of the Exploited Children Division and International Engagement for the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, said his organization has received more than 100 reports from members of the public about minors allegedly extorted on Wiz this year, putting the app behind only Snapchat and Instagram for such reports. So because there was extortion allegedly from Wiz, they had to shut it down. And this is the public statement Wiz came out with. Are you ready for this? Hey there, just wanted to drop in with a quick heads up. Wiz is currently taking a break from the app stores due to a technical hiccup. We're working super hard to get everything sorted out and back to normal ASAP. Here's the deal. If you uninstall Wiz during this time, you won't be able to re-download it until we're back up and running in the App Store. So we recommend hanging tight. We're really sorry for any inconvenience this may cause. We appreciate your patience and support. Stay tuned for the update, and in the meantime, keep enjoying Wiz. Thanks for being part of our Wiz family. Oopsie poopsie with Dill Will F***y Wucky. And when they were allowed back on the App Store, this was their announcement. Imagine, if you will, getting banned off the App Store because of controversies surrounding extortion of minors, and then being like, we're back, bitches! The audacity. We're still working on getting back on the store. We miss you guys. Stay strong. I like the hashtag attempt here. Nobody is using that shit. It sounds like a rapper. Free my homie Lil Wiz, he ain't done nothing. Okay, so
Free Wiz.
what exactly is on this app? Well, I'm
so
about
funny.
to show you. I will be getting these screen caps from other videos about this topic because there is no fucking way I am downloading any of these apps onto my device, okay? I am on way too many lists already. Anyway, here are some examples of some profiles on these friendship apps. Back on here, I guess, 5, 10, 16, don't send, hit me up. I'm a good listener, don't be dry, don't send, lol. I don't send, friendly 304, older girls are on top. 15. Look at the little Roblox icon. I don't send, so don't try. I don't send, don't ask. So if you are not aware what these people mean when they say don't send, they are saying they do not send private photos. May I remind you that this is an app marketed towards minors, and these minors feel the need to put in their profiles that they do not send nudes to strangers. That is how prevalent that is on this app.
Bro, that's fucking disgusting. What the fuck? That's insane.
They feel like they have to go out of their way to say they don't do it. This one literally has to say, I don't send, stop asking. Bro, what the Trades 17. I'll send 14. Wow, those are some interesting names they have there in Australia. How exotic. My shit big, by the way. 16 years old. No Bill Cosby shit, but if bitches sleeping on me, then I'm a fuck 'em. What? Hit me up if you are a girl that plays variety games, listens to music, and has a decent amount of beauty, so I can actually appreciate you. I don't date gays or blacks. Teen mom, if you have a prob, keep swiping. 14. I like it in the back door. Violet, 15. Pull up for and smoking bring me a nick though. DM to rate eggplant. Oh man, I sure love friendship apps. My favorite activity to do with the homies, with the bros, rating each other's dicks. Friendship.
Same.
I don't send.
Same, honestly. This is fucking insane, dude. What the fuck?
You should obsess over me. 15. It's wrong. If you're a sub and a masochist, text me now. Be my yandere. Be my psychopath. Someone please come collect your daughter.
Bro, if this is actually real people, like, what the fuck, dude? Like, that's insane, bro. That's actually insane. If those are real accounts, that's fucking wild, bro. I don't understand this world anymore. Like, every time I think maybe I'm starting to understand it, something like this happens, and then I realize that I don't get it. I don't understand anyone. I don't understand people. I just don't get it. I don't get it, bro. I don't get it.
Oh my god. 6'3", football. Text me with Riz. I have a whimper audio, so ask to see. Holy shit, someone please come collect your son. Where are the freaks at? 15 years old asking where the freaks are at. Sir, I do not doubt at all. Several freaks are viewing your profile. Rate me 1 out of 10. Middle school, about to be 13. They have their age set to 17, but they're actually 13, so again, great job. The state-of-the-art AI technology at work here. ChatGPT says I'm 24 years old without makeup. My 34-year-old haggard ass. I'm sorry if I do not trust fucking clankers to handle something like this. Let's take a look at what actual teenagers are saying about this app, shall we? Is Wiz safe? No, I got sent CP on it. Bruh, I got asked, do you trade so many times? Most people on there are horny for real. Got way too many PP pics from people. No, literally at this point, Wiz has become a child-friendly Tinder. The things I saw were horrifying. 15-year-olds posting videos of themselves twerking, 14-year-olds calling themselves bottoms, 13-year-olds putting shit in their bios like, I'll send if you send. My sister is using a dating app for teens called Wiz, and honestly I find it really unhealthy. She spends a lot of time talking to guys she barely knows. The worst part is, my mom does nothing about it. I've been punished for way less, but my sister never gets any real consequences. I'm just trying to protect her, but she thinks I'm against her, and I'm really scared that one day this could end badly. W, older brother, please protect your sister. She may hate you in the moment, but she will thank you in the future. Oh my god, and the fact that his mom doesn't care. This is giving me like actual anxiety. Here's my catch. If you're a guy, it's hard. Watch ads to get 5 coins, and once you reach 250, start the boost to get more requests. Oh, it's one of those watch ads to get coins sort of apps, of course. So what are the ads these 13 to 17-year-olds being forced to watch in order to get coins or whatever the Let's take a look. Let's take a look at what type of ads are on these friendship apps. Safe chat room. Enjoy private chats with gorgeous online. Gets our horny. 1v1 video chat. Please tame me. I wanna. AI generate. Not safe for work. Dirty call and come fast. Free video chat with naughty hot girl. Now I know every single social media.
What the actual fuck, bro? What in the actual fuck? What is life? That's a pretty massive candle for a 1 minute. That's a pretty massive 1 minute candle. Sorry, I need a break from that video. That shit's fucking weird, bro. It's a weird ass video. Huh. Interesting. I'm gonna laugh if I called this dip here. I'll laugh. Just goes to show. I mean, the short-term price action's hard to predict, but there was a lot of factors of why it could bounce here, so it'll be pretty funny if it actually does. It will be pretty funny. It'll just go to show that I still got it, baby. I still got it. I might not trade like ever, but I still got it. Alright, back to this.
Media has an issue with this. Every single one, from Instagram to Twitter, there's always an issue of preying on minors on social media. But these apps in particular are created with weird intentions from the get-go. Like, why does a 13-year-old kid need an app like this, where they swipe on photos of people and like plan to meet them in person? They just don't need an app like this. The bad that potentially comes with it completely outweighs like any of the good that can come from an app like this. I remember when like don't talk to strangers online was like the big thing. That was like the main internet rule. That and don't believe everything you see on the internet, which is funny now coming from the boomer generation that thinks like this is real on Facebook. Meanwhile, nowadays, apps like this are literally marketing themselves to minors like meet strangers on the internet. As a teenager, it is like the optimal time to like meet friends in real life. Like that is when it is the easiest, because it gets really hard to meet friends as an adult. It gets hard as fuck to meet friends as an adult. Like everyone's already established, everyone already has their friends, and like if you try to make friends with someone, you feel like a fucking like weirdo freak. Like when I moved to the city, I tried Bumble BFF. I think I've told the story before. Sorry if I told the story before in a video. Not much happens in my life, so if I repeat stories, I'm sorry. I tried Bumble BFF and the only person I matched with was a furry. Anyway, my point is, I don't think 13-year-old, 14-year-old, 15-year-old, whatever, they shouldn't be meeting strangers off the internet. Like at the very least, what these apps are doing are normalizing hookup culture. Basically grooming them into hookup culture, one of the most toxic aspects of modern society, in my opinion. But these companies do not care. These companies don't.
That's such an interesting point right there. I've never even... It's just like gambling. It's just like gambling. That's so interesting. What the hell? That's such an interesting thought. Huh.
Care, because at the end of the day, they are making a profit. It's not surprising at all that a lot of these apps showed up during COVID, during lockdowns, when many teenagers and kids were really lonely. Like I said before, the app is apparently full of ads, freaky ass ads, and you can buy like all this extra stuff on the app. There's like in-app purchases. There's like the fucking burger bundle, whatever the hell that is. I like how this is so blatantly like a French person's idea of like, this is like a French person's idea of like marketing to the United States. Bonjour, Americans. Would you like the burger bundle? So you can have a 13-year-old girl on your, how you say, oui oui? One of the biggest issues though, besides the predators or the normalization of hookup apps, is the fact that this app is mainly used by minors to trade photos with other minors. A lot of people, a lot of teenagers especially, don't know that even though you're also a minor, you are still technically creating and distributing CP. If those pictures somehow get out, if she breaks up with you and posts them, you could both get in trouble. You could go to jail. You could be labeled a sex offender. Yes, you as a minor could be labeled a sex offender because you sent pictures to another minor. And that's what like 90% of this app is. Minors getting each other's links and trading and whatever the like, how do the creators of this app not see that? How do they do see it. They don't care because a burger bundle. So what can we do about this? One particular promising solution pending before Congress is the Kids Online Safety Act, a bipartisan bill that establishes a duty of care for online platforms likely to be accessed by children. Listen, of course I think government regulation is absolutely necessary to keep corpos in check. If not, they would just do a bunch of immoral, evil shit for money. However, I do not trust the government to handle anything regarding free speech and the internet. Listen, in a perfect world, the government would step in and make the internet a safer place for children, but we do not live in a perfect world. We live in hell world, and in hell world, anything the government gets its grubby little hands on turns to shit. It will go from, we're just protecting kids, to, we're just protecting adults from bad opinions. It will go from, sorry little Timmy, you can't watch Fat Booty Latinas in Space 12, to, sorry grown-ass man, you can't post that opinion about Israel. But I don't know, you need a government ID to buy alcohol or weed online. Why shouldn't you also need a government ID to watch or access apps like this? I don't really know. I kind of like go back and forth on my opinion of stuff like this. I don't really have a fleshed out opinion of this yet. My husband has not given me my opinion of this yet. All I know is it is ultimately the parent's job to monitor what their kids are doing online. But in my opinion, something like this shouldn't even exist in the first place. Like imagine, yeah, we created meth for kids. You as a parent, you know, you keep your kids away, but you know, the meth for kids is here. You know, if they want it, if they want to buy it, like, no. Also, like, the parents are giving their kids iPads right out of the f***ing womb, dude. These little motherfuckers can't read. Australia is actually enforcing the first social media ban for kids under 16. These are the platforms being banned in Australia: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, X, YouTube, Reddit, Threads, Kick, Twitch. And these are the ones that are still allowed: Steam, WhatsApp, Messenger, YouTube Kids, Pinterest, GitHub, Google Classroom, Lego Play, Roblox, and Discord. I'm sorry, stop. You want to protect children, and you didn't ban Discord? Also, wow, I almost forgot. Roblox is also trying to become a dating website. Roblox, the game mostly used by children. I feel like kids are in such a rush to be adults today more than ever. I think because like social media and influencers. Oh my god, apparently the most popular jobs for children that they want to be when they grow up are like streamer and like YouTuber. We're so cooked, dude. I swear to god, if my kids come up to me and they're like, I want to be a YouTuber like mommy. Nightmare. No, you're going to college. You're getting a degree. You're not going to be an e-girl. You're not going to be a streamer. You're not going to be the next Asmongold. You're going to be normal. I've said this before, but like my kids are not even going to know the internet exists. I'm going to raise them as if it is 1875. And God forbid, like, a phone rings.
I think it's funny she mentioned Asmongold, because Asmon always watches her videos. That shit's pretty funny.
In our house? What is that strange bird I hear? Personally, I had unrestricted access to the internet when I was growing up, and I turned out fine. So that was that video. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. I read every single comment. I'm serious. I see all the shit you freaks write down there. If you like this video, give it a little like. Oh, I hate this part of being a YouTuber. Subscribe and give it 5 stars. Donate to my Patreon if you can, link down below, or you can give a little tip with the little tip jar. Also, again, don't forget to check out today's sponsor, Ground News, link also down below. And I hope you guys have a very Merry Christmas. I will see you guys next year. Bye!
Link shoe on head. That was a pretty good video. Pretty good video. I thought it was interesting. She compared like she's like kids getting into hookup culture early. That's such an interesting comparison. Or point, I guess. I don't know really what you would call it. Pretty interesting. I'm probably just gonna watch videos. I would end the stream right now, but this is all I'm gonna do when I end the stream, so I'll stick around. I haven't watched these videos yet. I guess we'll watch it.
The Epstein File Transparency Day is here, thanks to legislation which forced the government to finally release the Epstein files. Is it going to be Republicans, Democrats? Who is on that island? I gathered all the documents they released, but first we have a little word from...
Hold up, I'll be right back real quick, though. My cat almost killed me going down the stairs, bro. Who the hell is here right now? says there's like 8 people here, but nobody's here, so I don't really get that. Who the hell is here right now? You? Just you? I guess my chat's view or my stream view button. Oh, Fishy Friends. I haven't seen that name in a while. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing good. It's just kind of weird having what it says. There's a few people here, but doesn't seem like anyone's here.
Todd Blanche, our Deputy Attorney General.
So yes, so today is the 30 days, and I expect that we're going to release several 100,000 documents today, and then over the next couple weeks, I expect several 100,000 more. There's a lot of eyes.
What's up, Joshua? Haven't seen that name in here before. I don't think. I don't think I've seen that name in here before. Hope you're doing good, Joshua. Thanks for being here. Oh, thank you for the $2, Fishy Friends. Appreciate that, bro. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, I like your fish tanks. I like your fish tanks, bro. Hold on, we gotta peep Fishy Friends here. We gotta peep Fishy Friends here, bro. I want to check out your 20 gallon long, bro. I'm gonna check out your 20 long. Jason Umberger. I don't think I've seen that name in here before either. I like your profile picture. What's up, Jason? Appreciate you being here, bro. There's a few names I haven't seen before. Now I know who the lurkers
what up,
are.
Fishy Friends? Yo, trip out. I got my 20 gallon long DIY all-in-one build aquarium right here.
You making a saltwater, bro?
Just got done putting everything together, silicone in it. Silicone's still wet. Got my baffles. See right there, look, I got my intake.
That's fresh.
Got my outtake.
Interesting.
I put 1, 2, 3, 4 chambers. So I put 3 baffles in there. So the water will flow in, come under.
I've just never seen someone set up a sump for a freshwater. I mean, it's not really a sump. It's just kind of the same idea, it seems like. Pretty interesting.
Go over some biological media. Come back over, go over some more biological media. Come under, go through a sponge filter, and go through the outtake. In this first bay right here, I'm gonna throw my heater along with some filter floss, which I got here. I got my ceramic pieces right here. That's my other biological media. I got some bio balls I'm gonna throw in the mix. And then right here, you can see I got my sponge material. So on the very last.
Pretty cool, pretty cool.
Baffle right here. A little chamber. Here's my return pump. I got all this stuff off.
You have a 120 gallon, bro? Gee. 120 gallon? You telling me you got a 120 gallon, bro?
Oh, what's up, Fishy Friends?
Hey, look, it's Fishy Friends.
Same spot.
What's up?
Oh, got my dog with me. Check it out. Excited to show you guys, everybody, all my fishy friends out there. Bow.
Damn, that is nice, bro.
Done. The 120.
That shit's nice. Except you got way too many neon tetras.
The CO2 finally installed.
Way too many neon tetras.
Looking legit. Got some more fish in here. I added the Sahika from my other tank, which eventually I'm gonna move all my other pistol.
My little cousin had a 120. He had a fucking 2 Oscars in there. Couple catfish. I forget exactly what kind of catfish. That's awesome, bro. That's awesome. I love that. Too many neon tetras, though. You got a lot of neon tetras. I mean, neon tetras are cool, but they're cool when you have a lot of them and you feed them. They're pretty cool, but having a 120, you should have some massive fish. You should have some massive fish. I'm addicted. Oh, I know the fish tank addiction too well. I've personally never been addicted to fish tanks, but my little cousin was obsessed. He had a 90-gallon saltwater too. That was pretty dope. That's awesome, bro. That's awesome. You should keep posting some stuff. Pretty sweet. I mean, if you like doing this, I don't know. Only if you like doing it. Alright, back to this. I just wanted to peep some of your videos real quick.
Looking at these, and we want to make sure that when we do produce the materials we're producing, that we're protecting every single victim.
Wait, so turns out, first of all, the files that got released today, they aren't actually all the files, even though by law they should have been. So yeah, the first thing you need to know about these files is that they are not all the files, and we have no idea which ones they held back and are gonna release later. And the second thing I want to tell you about are the redactions that are made. This is one of the most prominent things when you look at these files. You'll see there are a lot of just blacked out stuff, and look, sometimes that makes sense, right? If you say, look, we are redacting a victim's face. Like, totally get that, and clearly that happened in some instances. You know, CSAM was not scanned. Totally get that. I'm all about that, and I actually agree with the government. However, remember that Jason Leopold reported that sometimes what they were calling the Epstein Transparency Project, they also were calling the Special Redaction Project, meaning some people did not like being in there. And you kind of see that reflected in some of the redaction choices, because some of these redactions just don't seem to make sense. And this is what they've already released. Remember, there's files we just don't know about because they haven't actually released the full files yet. They've released some of them. But for example, the BBC reported that a judge ruled that Ghislaine Maxwell's grand jury records can be unsealed. So, you know, all of us were wondering, okay, where are those? Well, they're redacted. Actually, 119 pages of some of these files were just like redacted fully. Like, you couldn't see anything in these files. There's literally no details except it just says Grand Jury New York, and it's just like pages and pages.
Are you in the Salt Lake City area and ready to take your podcast to the next level?
That was really, really good. Do it again.
Okay. At Utah Podcast Studio,
What the hell? A podcast studio? That's interesting.
Actually, I mean, you can't see anything. This is part of the Transparency Day, Transparency Act. So that is a weird look, but other redactions are also really strange. For example, we have this message among the documents where it seems to be Jeffrey Epstein getting a message that says, I have a female for him. It's like a note. Somebody left him a note, and they say, please call, I can't tell if that's her or him, but twice he gets a message, and both times it's a message that says, I have a female for him. But they redact the person who called, which kind of doesn't make sense. Like, isn't that someone you should be investigating? How is that a victim? Maybe there's context that we're missing, but I want to remind you guys that there was supposed to be an explanation for even why they were making certain redactions, and they didn't. Here's one of our legislators talking about that.
And our law requires them to explain redactions. There's not a single explanation for why that entire document was redacted.
So yeah, already Transparency Day was looking a bit shaky. But let me just say, there are some things worth looking at. So one of the big things that was interesting is that Bill Clinton was heavily featured in this whole thing. There's Bill in the hot tub with some a lady that is redacted, and Ghislaine Maxwell. This appears to be on one of his trips early on. I think it's pretty obvious why Billy Boy is so prominently featured. Like, he's obviously was associated with Jeffrey Epstein. He's a big name. He's kind of a scalp, if you will, and it gives the public something to think about. And the White House was trying to seize on that, obviously. Bill Clinton just chilling without a care in the world. Little did he know. And you have Caroline Leavitt, the press secretary, saying, oh my. But ultimately, this leaves a giant elephant in the room for them that still doesn't make sense, which is this. Like, you guys don't care about Bill Clinton. Why haven't these files been released before? Like, why has there been such a cover-up of the Epstein files if Bill was the only guy in it? Right? Because let me spoil the surprise, because while Billy Boy is featured multiple times with multiple women on the plane and hot tubs, Trump is barely featured at all. The only pictures of Trump are some desk photos. He's not even in the picture. It's just thin. There's basically nothing relating to Trump that is that interesting. And people's point is like, well, that's a little weird, right? We know that they were all kind of involved. We know Trump and Epstein were, heavily associated together. Not saying there's some smoking gun or anything like that. I don't have any special information on that. But we know there are going to be files related to this. Like, it's obvious. We already have leaked reporting that they had him in the files multiple times. So it's like, where are they? And that's going to leave a lot of people unsatisfied because, of course, it's like, well, then the Epstein files really haven't been fully released yet. Now, there were some other interesting mentions. Michael Jackson made a cameo in some of these with Epstein and with Bill Clinton. I'd say the biggest finding, in my opinion, was this document right here, which just corroborates something that has been alleged for a long time, which is that Maria Farmer, she warned the FBI about Jeffrey Epstein back in 1996, and they just basically didn't do anything with it. Now, the New York Times reported that the FBI has never publicly acknowledged her original report, even to Mrs. Farmer. So yeah, this lady, this victim, had been talking about how she had reported Epstein a long time ago to the feds, and the FBI had never confirmed that, but today we have this, which it says that the complainant stated that she's a professional artist and took pictures of her sisters, 12 and 16 years old, for her personal artwork. Epstein stole the photos and negatives and is believed to have sold the photos to potential buyers. Epstein at the time requested blank to take pictures of young girls at swimming pools. Epstein is now threatening blank that if she tells anyone about the photos, he will burn her house down. This was back in 1996. And apparently nothing happened. I mean, obviously Epstein would not get arrested for a long time later, and then he got that sweetheart deal. So this is both a vindication to one of the victims of Jeffrey Epstein, and it's an indictment of our law enforcement, because obviously they were tipped off on this way before. Actually, it's interesting, there's this complaint out there where allegedly Maria Farmer, while reporting this mid-sentence, the FBI hung up on her and did not make an attempt to follow up. It's just like one giant fumble after the next. So yeah, that's probably the biggest thing that got revealed. I want to say that some people had long not believed Mrs. Farmer, according to the New York Times. And so after the release of these files, the New York Times contacted Ms. Farmer about that report, and she broke down in tears about it because, of course, it had totally vindicated her. So those are probably the biggest findings, but there are some sick things we probably should address. Like, these were some notes that were taken about Jeffrey Epstein and some girls he was trying to procure. It says, quote, at one point, blank witnessed him asking for ID to girl, wanted to make sure under 18 because he wasn't believing them because blank messed up by bringing him more older girls. Like, he was asking for ID, at least according to this, in order to find out that they're young enough for him. I mean, it's actually like completely sick. And then this one also, it says that Jeffrey Epstein was apparently meeting.
That's fucking insane, bro. What the fuck? We're on the weird YouTube viewer. We're watching some weird videos right now, apparently.
Meeting with some young girl that someone else had procured for him, aka trafficked to him, and he was unhappy. He said, why bringing me dark girl? They responded, bringing young girl. Yeah, but not dark. Told her he just wasn't into her. Doesn't remember if he paid blank because he wasn't happy. So like, he was like, yeah, she's young enough, but she's not my type. And this kind of repeats the point. He told her that, quote, you know what I'm into. Blank understood that to mean, quote, young, petite, underage. Doesn't recall if brought anyone age 13. There definitely is that in these files if you want to look for it. I don't suggest you do. You'll want to take a bath afterwards. I mean, there's some weird like photo albums. Once upon a time, there's a clueless little girl. I mean, you know, it's really sick stuff. I don't want to belabor the point. There's also this stuff from the House Oversight Committee. So just to be clear, while the government was like releasing their files, the House Oversight Committee, specifically the Democrats, released like a select number of photos as a kind of a teaser to this whole thing. Now, I haven't talked about this, but some of them are really weird. Like a girl has Lolita quotes written on her. If you don't know what Lolita is, God bless you. This person says, I will send you girls now. Maybe some will be good for Jay. She asks $1,000 per girl. Clearly trafficking, and so this is really gross stuff. The House Oversight Committee released some photos with all of the classics: Prince Andrew, Bill Gates, Donald Trump, Steve Bannon, Bill Clinton, you know, the gang, the whole gang, basically. But again, you know, I want to note that this is obviously not the DOJ release, so when you see, like, Trump in the files, well, these are sort of different files, just to be clear about that. There's also kind of a funny thing that happened where David Brooks, he's a reporter for the New York Times, he wrote, "The Epstein story, count me out," only to be found, I guess, having a dinner with some people, and Jeffrey Epstein was there. So, you know, maybe it's coincidental that he said, count me out of the Epstein story, but maybe not. Now, I want to be clear, the New York Times ultimately defended him, and I think he made a statement, and a spokesperson made a statement that basically he had no contact with Jeffrey Epstein. Basically, all these people issued similar statements, like, I didn't know him, or I didn't know what he was up to, or, you know the thing by now. I guess I don't have to put those caveats in. You know all these people deny it. You know all these people say, I had nothing to do with it. I had nothing. And to be fair, you know, probably some of them did have nothing to do with it. I just don't believe none of them had anything to do with it. And that's kind of the problem of these files. It's like, okay, all these guys are hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein. They're all around him, and he's around young girls. A lot of times they are around him, around young girls, but of course, none of them had anything to do with it. Like, that's basically the state of the affairs. And right now, we're just getting sort of another partial look. Like, are we getting Epstein Transparency Day, or are we getting, like, the Special Redaction Project? It feels more like the latter, honestly, and I don't have high hopes for even the stuff they release after this. I know they're saying they're gonna do a rolling production or whatever, but given how much they've already redacted with very little clear explanations as to why, I just don't think we're gonna get much, and even if we do, it's gonna be hard to trust it. I mean, that's part of what makes this so challenging. The government has given you no reason to trust them on this issue on both sides, frankly, to be fair, but especially this administration, which ran on releasing the files. But literally since 1996, we have been failing victims, we have been failing the public in protecting them, and we have been failing to disclose what we really know, and this seems like more of that. Sadly, you know, a lot of us thought that this was going to be the end of it. This was going to be the grand day that, you know, ended it all. But it seems like that's not going to happen for a long time. So I'll continue to keep you updated. But yeah, that's basically all we know so far.
All right.
The FBI.
All right. Guess we're just going to continue to watch videos. Why not?
I just accidentally released 11,000 Jeffrey Epstein files that they hadn't publicly put out yet, but we got access to them. And at the end of this video, I'm going to show you how to access them. Here's what that looks like. It's volume 8 of the files, but you can see right now that they've only released 7 data sets. And so myself, the guys at Gmail, and the guys at Dropsite, we've been investigating this. I've partnered with them to kind of look at some of these files. And they got access to volume 8 early. You would just type it in the URL. It wasn't like indexable on search, but you could just type in the specific URL and it would just come up. You could download the entire zip file, and that's what we did. We've been looking through it. I want to go over some of it because I believe some of what we've seen directly contradicts the FBI's earlier statement that, oh, there's no evidence, or we did not uncover evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties. That's what they told us, right? They said, we've already looked through the files. You don't need to see the files back in July. Of course, all the pressure has made them now start releasing some of this stuff. And we believe that this was slated for release, but remember, they weren't going to release all the files yet. They had to hold some back. Well, we believe that these 11,000 files are part of what they held back, because clearly they aren't out, and clearly they were ready, because a lot of these are redacted. I mean, already you can see we found several files that were once again over 100 pages of redacted information. So it was all ready to be released. It's unclear why it wasn't. But let me caveat before we get into the material that
What's up, Jeremy? Nah, nothing going on. I mean, the stock's down, so that's a positive thing, I guess, if you look at it that way. I just it's funny because if you've been around the stream for a while, which a lot of people probably weren't around the stream during this time, but back when I first started streaming, it was around when Roaring Kitty came back, or when I started streaming again, I guess. And one of my first stream titles was like Roaring Kitty's Christmas Surprise or something like that. I forget where it is. What is the title of the stream anyway? Oh yeah, Ryan Cohen's Christmas Surprise. So where is it? I do have one that's Roaring Kitty's Christmas Surprise or something like that. So it's kind of a play up, yeah, right here. Back when the stock was actually up, I think. Yeah. So I thought it was just a funny play on this. I think it's around the same time as well. Yeah, December 26th. That's kind of funny. This is Ryan Cohen's Christmas Surprise, I guess. The stock being red. That's kind of where that came from. What's up, Survive and Thrive? Been a while. Hope you're doing good. The eve of Christmas Eve. Amen, amen. Hope you're doing good, bro.
this is a breaking story, and as such, I'm sure there's going to be some pieces of information that we are interpreting or trying to interpret live, and because of that, I want to warn you to withhold your judgment on some of this stuff until we get more evidence. I'm sure the president's going to be asked about some of this stuff. I'm sure Todd Blanche, Pam Bondi, they're going to get asked about this because it is extremely damning, I think, what we see in some of this. Specifically, I want to draw your attention immediately to the 10 co-conspirators that are mentioned in some of these emails in 2019. Now, this is just alarming stuff because prior to this, remember that all we really had was Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. That's the only people who have ever faced any charges at all. Ghislaine Maxwell, the only one who actually faced consequences, right? But in 2019, apparently there were 10 co-conspirators. Now, the people who were sending this to and from have been blacked out, but at the bottom we see that this is the Violent Crime Section, Crimes Against Human Trafficking Unit. And we can see that of the 10 co-conspirators, 3 have been located in Florida, served grand jury subpoenas, 1 in Boston, 1 in New York City, 1 in Connecticut were served. 4 out of the 10 are outstanding with attempts having been made. What is a wealthy businessman in Ohio? A lead is being sent to CV, and the remaining 3 are currently out of pocket. This is stunning stuff. Previously, we did not know how many co-conspirators were suspected of, or I'm not aware of anything like that. And additionally, some of the details on this are revealed later because we see this subject line. It says co-conspirators at the top. And it says, blank does not need to head out. We made contact with blank last night in New York City. Blank last night in New York. Contact was made with blank, blank, and blank. By the way, I love how these potential co-conspirators are people who are being blacked out. Like, why? I thought the whole point of this was you couldn't redact people for personal information reasons or for public embarrassment. You could only redact on the basis of it being a victim. And I'm not sure how these people could possibly be victims here.
Epstein Files Transparency Act prohibits redactions, quote, on the basis of embarrassment, reputational harm, or political sensitivity. Has anything been redacted on that basis?
Absolutely, positively not.
But anyways, you can see that it says attempts were made to blank and Brunel, that's Jean-Luc Brunel, the famous who's now dead. Blank is confirmed to live in New York, was away for the holiday weekend. We did not have a good address, but an attempt was made in New York. Attempts are made to Maxwell today. Blank, you get it. Like, it's all the people they suspected this whole time are redacted, of course. And then they say, I do not know about Ohio contacting Wexner. Now, that's a reference to Les Wexner, the former CEO of Victoria's Secret. This is huge. We've long suspected that he was, of course, one of the co-conspirators. And obviously, the fact the FBI suspected it isn't a 100% proof confirmation. But clearly, they were serving grand jury subpoenas. I mean, that must be who they're talking about. One wealthy wealthy businessman in Ohio, because later it's confirmed by this whole idea of Ohio contacting Wexner. And you can see at the bottom, this is from the FBI New York. When you get a chance, give me an update on the status of the 10 co-conspirators. This is really bad to know that we knew as early as 2019 the right people to target, and yet our FBI, who's had evidence of this the entire time, or leads on it, has declined to prosecute, right? Because this is what the FBI now tells us. Oh, don't bother. Don't worry about it. That's what they wanted us to believe in July. Fast forward to December, we find out there's 10 guys that they knew about since like 6 years ago. You know, it's insane. Even over here, we see that in one of the lawsuits, I believe this is with Maxwell, the government actually wanted to refer to people at trial as co-conspirators of the defendant, aka Maxwell, for the purposes of a rule. And then they say Jeffrey Epstein, and then there are two names listed there who are going to be listed as co-conspirators. Again, who are those people? We were told that the only co-conspirator now is Maxwell, and if you don't believe that, you're crazy, you're a conspiracy theorist. But back in 2020, this was an idea not just promulgated by wackos, it was promulgated by who? The FBI themselves, the Department of Justice. Look at this. Co-conspirator question transcript. This is from USA NYS. They say, question, when Jeffrey Epstein died, a lot of people asked, who's next? Is the government going to hold people who are accused of helping him recruit these girls? Are they going to hold them accountable? And then the answer is, well, I'll note that the original charges against Jeffrey Epstein contained a conspiracy charge, and we allege that there were conspirators involved. Jeffrey Epstein couldn't have done what he did without the assistance of others. And I can assure you that our investigation is moving forward, except I guess not. Against everyone except for Ghislaine Maxwell, it got killed. Like, Ghislaine Maxwell was the only one who faced justice, right? Except then she got moved to Club Fed, to this nice prison, right? And by the way, that a whole interesting interview we saw happen with Todd Blanche, which is Trump's former defense lawyer. So he got grilled on Meet the Press about his relationship. Like, why did Ghislaine Maxwell go to this nicer prison immediately afterwards? And while he declines to comment on it, he says something very interesting.
Why was she moved just days after you interviewed her, Mr. Blanche?
So that's a Bureau of Prisons security issue that I will not talk about.
Did you have anything to do with it? Did you have anything to do with it?
Let me finish. First of all, I am responsible for the Bureau of Prisons. So every decision that they make lands on my desk to the extent it needs to. But just let me talk about the security issue. At the time that I met Miss Maxwell, there was a tremendous amount of scrutiny and publicity towards her, and the institution she was in, she was suffering numerous threats against her life. So the BOP is not only responsible for putting people in jail and making sure they stay in jail, but also for their safety.
All right, so he's like, yeah, that's crazy. No, I'm not going to talk about that, but every decision lands on my desk. I mean, eventually he goes on to say that, oh, she was in so much danger. We were worried about her safety as a prisoner. I just got to say, there's a lot of concern about Ghislaine Maxwell. All of a sudden, I don't know where that came from. There's not a lot of concern about these conspirators that I guess we've swept under the rug, that we don't care about anymore since 2019. I guess we knew about them and didn't care. And what's even more concerning is our president also seems concerned with the wrong people. Like, while Todd Blanche is concerned about Ghislaine Maxwell's safety and well-being, you've got Trump concerned about the people who are going to be unfairly implicated in the Jeffrey Epstein files, rather than worrying about how to catch the people that we obviously let go through the cracks.
The victims were protesting that too many of them were redacted.
I know there are a lot of people that are angry about all of the pictures of other people, you know, but I think it's terrible. Look, I like Bill Clinton. I've always gotten along with Bill Clinton. I've been nice to him. He's been nice to me. We've always gotten along. Respect him. I hate to see photos come out of him, but this is what the Democrats, mostly Democrats, and a couple of bad Republicans are asking for. So they give me their photos of me, too. Everybody was friendly with this guy. I think it's a terrible thing. I think Bill Clinton's a big boy. He can handle it. But you probably have pictures being exposed of other people that innocently met Jeffrey Epstein years ago, many years ago.
Now, I'll be honest, he gets off track from here, but the point he was making is that those poor, innocent, bankers who were meeting with Epstein, the poor lawyers who were meeting with Epstein, like all of Epstein's friends are just caught up in this unfortunate thing. And it's just such a reversal of what previously the DOJ and FBI believed. In fact, they believed it so much that they got a federal search warrant for the SDNY, and they got it. And part of the seizable data, part of the stuff that they commanded them to seize as part of the search warrant, which, by the way, I think you need some kind of like standard of evidence for. I'm not a lawyer. You guys can chime in. But you can't just get a search warrant without some kind of evidence that you believe there's a crime that's been committed. And part of it says evidence concerning the identity or location of co-conspirators of Jeffrey Epstein, including blank and Ghislaine Maxwell. So again, who is blank? Well, they keep redacting the names of these co-conspirators, uncharged, remember, and now they're saying we have no evidence to charge anybody. Clearly, they had evidence for a search warrant, and it's just completely ridiculous that some of this stuff is redacted and that we're viewing the rich and powerful people who are mentioned as the victims here. Now, that's all I want to talk about for now. Remember, this is a developing story, so there's, I'm sure, going to be more evidence that comes out. I will try to keep you updated. I'm probably going to cover more of this stuff in the future because there's so much here. But I had to get this out while it was basically not public yet. I mean, I think it's eventually going to be public. When, we don't know. But you can access all of it at jmail.world. I'll leave a link in the description. They have a special like drive section. The original pitch was it's like email, but you're logged in as Jeffrey Epstein. Now they've made it like the entire Google account, so you can log into his drive folder and all that kind of stuff. It's fun. It's a great UI, but more importantly, it makes it all very searchable and you can look at it. I think you'll all really enjoy it. I also wanted to give a special shout out to the Drop Site team. And finally, we just uploaded on CoffeeZilla. I don't like to upload the same day on both channels because it kind of cannibalizes views. This is such a breaking story that I decided to break my rule. But if you could go, please give that a watch. It's a really great story that we spent a lot of time on. And I'd appreciate it if you check that out as well. I'll leave that link down below too. And yeah, thank you. I'm going to go get some sleep.
That is a really good video. I already watched the CoffeeZilla one. Definitely worth the watch.
Hello guys and gals,
Golf sim awaits. Over the break if you're on. Yeah, I might stream tomorrow for a little bit. I'm not sure, but appreciate you, bro. Thank you for always supporting the stream. Enjoy the golf sim. Enjoy your Christmas if I don't end up seeing you. And God bless, bro. God bless.
Hello guys and gals, me Mudahar, and there's a fellow YouTuber by the name of Megalag, as you might have known. You know, last year he made a pretty banging video on Honey, the browser extension. Now, again, in the last couple hours, he actually made a follow-up to that, part 2 of 3, really.
Damn,
maybe
50 minutes long? I might fucking make... 50 minutes long? That's a long video. Probably just watch his video instead of Ordinary Gamers, though. Is there anything else to watch before we watch a 50-minute long video? Probably not. The new Meat Canyon video was really funny. If you guys haven't seen this, this is pretty funny.
Yo, these shells were supposed to be stocked 4 hours ago. This is man.
Oh, God. No prismatic evolution packs, really? You said you were gonna have them online. This is ridiculous. God.
Well, this is gonna make that bullshit, man.
My wife and her
I'm trying to
boyfriend
get
are in
paid.
the
I'm
car
trying to get that
waiting.
bread, man.
Please.
How am I gonna make that bread?
My wife and her boyfriend are in the car waiting. That's funny.
Stop moving! Run, hell, you feral beast! It's okay. It's okay. You're gonna be okay. Damn it! Is there any sign of the others?
I've got signs of one now.
Dude, this is my box. I found it first. Oh, really? Really? It's actually my box. Well, you want to take it outside? Oh, you're mocking me. Let's take it outside then. Let's take it outside.
I've spotted one. Pee-pee. Virgin pee-pee.
Virgin pee-pee.
Let's go, chat. Let's go. Drive up the price.
Chat, no, I'm telling you. I've definitely gotten laid before. I'm not a virgin. I'm tired of y'all saying that. How can I be a virgin if I'm paying child support next Tuesday?
No, I'm not paying for my wife's boyfriend's new kid. Are we buying Pokemon cards or not? Because if you only buying Pokemon cards, huh?
$200 profit. Children's card game. I got tiny dick. My penis is small.
Damn it, son! Don't say that! Don't go to the darkness!
My penis is small.
Chief, we got the last one on the run.
I'm stuck. Call my wife and her boyfriend. Tell them to help me up. I need help. Hold me like a baby. I wasn't loved. I wasn't loved. That's why I do this. That's why.
My dick's so small. $200 profit. He just keeps talking about his small dick and the amount of profit he's gonna get reselling Pokemon cards.
Chief, your boy can live to be a Pokemon reseller, or he can die a human being with a soul.
I've already lost one child. I can't lose another.
Do what's right for your boy.
Oh, God. Look at me, son.
My dick is small.
Look at me, son. I love you, son.
Pokemon card, my dick is small.
I love you, son.
My dick is small.
People always ask, Pokemon reseller's son or OnlyFans daughter? Unfortunately, I never had to choose. I had both.
I had both. Oh man. That shit's so funny, bro. Ah, that's funny. That's some good shit right there. Well, 51-minute long video. Fuck. Stream for an hour and a half so far. I might watch that later. See if there's anything interesting. Probably not. There's nothing interesting on Reddit lately. There's just nothing, man. There's just nothing going on. I don't know. Ryan Cohen doesn't need to do anything, bro. You just need to accept the investment for what it is. It's not get rich scheme, not get rich tomorrow. You should be happy that the price is low so you can buy more. I don't really understand the negativity towards the price being low. Sure, you know, you're probably losing money, but why'd you buy it if that was going to be a problem? I don't know. I've seen a lot of negativity about the price going down lately, and I just don't get it. Doesn't make sense. You should be happy the price is lower so you can buy more at a lower price. If this is actually a long-term investment for you, it doesn't make sense to like care about the price. At least that's how I feel. I don't know. I just can't relate. I just can't relate. You only lose money if you sell. I disagree with that. That is a common thing people say, but I disagree. If the price never goes back up, you lost. You can buy it, you can sell the stock and buy literally the next second. So I disagree with that. It's just, do you believe in the investment or not? If you believe in the investment, the price doesn't matter. Is what it is. If you truly believe in the investment, you should be happy the price is down so you can buy more, because I don't know. Sure, it'd be nice to have profit, but at the end of the day, I'd prefer to buy shares at a lower price because I believe in the investment. What happens if next year the date of warrants is not above 32? Does that mean they expire? Yeah, exactly. But what? Why does that matter? That means the shares don't get diluted, and whoever shorted the stock just because of the warrants has to close. So, why does that matter? Why didn't you sell your warrants for profit when you had profit, if that was a big deal, or if that's going to be a problem? The warrants were up over 40% like a couple weeks ago. Why didn't you take profits on them? Warrants expiration states they can be extended and strike price can be changed. We've already talked about that. That's not real. That's not in the warrant agreement. It's a thing that can happen with warrants, but not these warrants. There's no terms in the warrant agreement that says that can happen. We've talked about this already. We even looked it up. But yeah, I don't know. I think just accept the investment for what it is. Like, if you've been here for a decent amount of time, there's never been a moment in time where I've ever, when the stock's going up, it's exciting, but there's never been a moment where I thought the stock was going to squeeze or not sell off. I suggest you adopt the same mindset, because what if this stock doesn't move for the next 5 years? Are you just going to be upset every single day that the stock's not moving? Like, you should just accept the investment for what it is. I don't know. There was a moment when I first got into this investment where it being down was a problem, but at this point, if you've been in the investment for as long as I have, if not longer, because a lot of people have been in this investment for like 5 years now and have got absolutely shit on, like, you shouldn't be surprised. Like, you shouldn't, like, I don't know. I think you should just get what it's an investment. It's whether it's going to work or not, who knows? Doesn't mean the price can't go down. Doesn't mean the price can't go up. Whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. and you took the bet, and if you can't accept that potentially the bet's not going to work, I don't know why you didn't take the bet, or I don't know why you took the bet. You should have accepted the loss a long time ago. So, I don't know. A lot of negativity on this stock lately, and I just don't get it. I don't understand. I've been in this trade since 2020. Took my gains and bought back in. I'm a lifer at this point. Well, good. Then good. Except that you can lose on it. There's no guarantee of winning. But yeah. If GameStop was a guarantee, the price would already be up. Isn't that the whole point of the bet? Is that nobody believes in it? At least that's what it is for me. If everyone believed in it, the price would be up. Old Saint Narc. You know, when you place a sports bet, you lose every dollar you have if you lose. The bet's not over until you lose every dollar you have. It could go down 50%. Doesn't mean the bet's over. Doesn't mean the bet's over. There's nothing to watch except the honey video.
How much time did you spend mute?
More negativity, the better. Very reminiscent of the years past. Yeah. I mean, but who knows if it's gonna go up or not. It looks good. Looks great. But nothing's guaranteed. I just really want to understand why people are so negative about it. Like, if you were going to be negative about being down on the investment, why did you even make it? And what makes you think anything else would have been a better investment? I'm just, I'd really like to understand. But it's probably just all emotions. But I don't think emotions have a place in this arena. They really don't. They really don't. If emotion, let me put it this way, if emotions are affecting you while the stock is down, good luck holding it while the stock's going up. That's probably it's probably a very accurate thing. Dude built his wealth on value investments. I'm here for that. Not every investment was a banger. A lot of them were, because he bought them all in 2020, and that was the best time to buy value investments. But not everything is a banger. And I don't know. This investment should be for you, not for anyone else. Not because of Roaring Kitty, not because of Ryan Cohen. This investment should be because of what you see and the future you see. Sure, you know, Ryan Cohen's a good CEO. Roaring Kitty has proved himself in the investing world as probably one of the best investors of our generation. Same with Michael Burry. But this investment should be for you, and only for you. And it should be based on what you think the future looks like. You know, of course Ryan's part of the investment, but Ryan's made mistakes. He even said it in the last interview that he's made a mistake, or he made a mistake in 2022 buying all that inventory, lost shareholder value because of it. Ryan's not perfect. He's going to make mistakes along the way. And Ryan's also a long-term investor. Decades and centuries. Not 1 year. Not 1 year. Not 2. Decades and centuries. Having the stock trading at $20 is a blessing. Whether whether people want to admit it or not. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I know what I'm saying will never change anything, but my only suggestion is to anyone, if you feel some type of way about this investment, you better figure it out, because when the stock starts going up, I just feel like a lot of the people who are upset that the stock's down they're not gonna last very long. People complaining about 20 forget that a year and a half ago is 10. Yeah, for real. That's why it's funny, all the articles saying the stock's down like 80% the past few years, when it's literally up over 100% in the past year and a half. And the interesting thing about when it was trading at $10, I think a lot of, I'm not saying it can't go back to $10. Like, it would, fundamentally that would be insane, but go back to a filing from back then, April 24, around there. And the share float was lower back then as well. I don't know exactly. I mean, we'll find out here in a second. Let's see. 10K, 327. So just right before. When was the cutoff for this one, though? I want to see when the cutoff for this one was. I think this was the surprise earnings report, though, when the stock was up a lot, if I'm not mistaken. May 4th. Yeah, so this was like just after the squeeze. I think this was that surprise earnings with the ATM. So we're going to have to look at the 10K right before the squeeze. The stock was still probably trading at like 15 bucks. Is this the right one? Did I click on the right one? I might have clicked on the wrong one. I think I clicked on the wrong thing. Not sure. Yeah, okay, so this is February 3rd. Let's see. February 3rd. So yeah, you were trading at like 13 bucks around here. So if we go into this, you were sitting at 305 million shares. So they've added like 25% of the share, or yeah, 25% onto the float. So I mean, I don't know what that would be. So it's probably not going back to 10. Could go to like 14, 15 maybe. But go to the financials here. You know, back then they were sitting on $1 billion cash. They had like no assets. $2 billion in assets. Dude, that's actually so impressive. That's so impressive. How much they've done just the past year and a half. That's actually so, like, insanely impressive. Of course, you know, a lot of it's because of the money, but what they've done the past year is crazy. When you go and look back here, it's actually wild. So, I don't know. I don't know. You went from 1.3 billion of shareholder equity to now you're sitting on like 5.3. So you've added over 4 billion of equity. Probably, you know, mostly because of the money, but still. Like, imagine something like that happens again. Not even for the profit of you personally, which probably most people, that's all they would think about. Imagine the stock goes back up to $40, $50 randomly, and they do another at the money and raise another $2-3 billion, and then next thing you know, you're sitting on $8 billion in shareholder equity. I mean, sounds pretty sick to me. Sounds pretty sick. You know, sure, the share float would go up, but the floor would probably be around 25 bucks at that point. The potential floor, like, who knows, actually. There's so many interesting scenarios that could play out. You know, maybe the stock never moves ever again, and it just slowly goes up. Slowly but surely. There's so many scenarios that could play out. Q4 will presumably mark 2 straight years of positive earnings. Yeah, that's awesome. And, I mean, if you're only looking back the past 2 years, 2 years of positive stock price movement, you know? 2 years of positive stock movement. Yeah, that's pretty interesting to think about, huh? That's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. I think so many people are so focused on the past, you know, the past 5 years that they've ignored the past 2. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of a wild thought. Everyone's so focused on the past 5 years, they're forgetting about the past 2. Like, that's so interesting. What is the next year gonna look like? You know? What is the next year gonna look like? You've had nothing but positivity the past year, or the past 2 years. What is the next year gonna look like? Could be interesting. Could be interesting. It's definitely the most interesting investment in the world from my current knowledge. There's not a single investment that's more interesting than GameStop. Of course the S&P, NASDAQ, those will always be solid investments. But there's nothing more interesting than this. Find me one company / stock that's more interesting than GameStop. Because I'd be very surprised if someone could find one. But yeah, I don't know. Is what it is. Whatever happens is whatever's gonna happen. And you should be okay with either outcome. If you're not honestly, like, if you're not okay losing every dollar you have potentially, this is not the realm for you. The stock market is not for you. I'm sorry to say. You know, I don't think that's gonna happen, but you should definitely be okay with that outcome. There is just nothing. I think I'm out of here, though, unless you guys got something to talk about. I'm gonna go watch that honey video, I think. I guess I'll watch it live. Fuck it. Got nothing better to do.
I'm here, sorry. Whew. I wanted...
PayPal does not want you seeing this video. A few hours ago, PayPal's lawyer sent me a cease and desist letter and requested Patreon take down my video under a copyright infringement claim. I consider this a direct attack against my fundamental rights as an independent journalist. PayPal has specifically taken issue with the fact that an anonymous source discovered Honey had left their source code exposed within their iOS app, which, if you know where to look, is publicly accessible. This anonymous source found the code and sent it to me. I reviewed the code for security research purposes, which is a protected act, and I only published relevant sections of the code that provide important context to the story, which I consider within the realm of public interest. Nevertheless, I have removed sections of the video containing said code, not because I believe PayPal are correct, but because I know they will have YouTube take this video down. It was only a small segment of the video, therefore I have made this decision quickly, under duress, and to proceed with this publication as quickly as possible. If PayPal thought this would stop me, they were sorely mistaken. Enjoy the video.
I don't trust Honey. I don't know what it is. I don't trust it. They push so much advertising.
They push so much advertising. And then people are getting money out of it, and then people are saving money out of it, and that makes sense, but the other part doesn't make sense, and then something's going on here. Where's all this money coming from? I have a feeling there's gonna, in like a couple years, there's gonna be the great honey conspiracy.
PayPal's Honey Money saving browser extension is accused of scamming customers and YouTube creators.
The biggest YouTube scam has just been revealed.
The greatest scam in the history of the creator economy.
People have been getting influenced and scammed, and I've been a part of it.
It involves almost every high-profile creator that I can think of, including myself.
Honey paid a lot of influencers up front
while taking money out of their back pockets.
Whoa, that's a little shady, mind you.
No way that signs you up for their affiliate link. No way.
What? Brother.
Heilige Scheiße.
I'm the biggest honey fan in the world. Ludwig, no!
They've also been lying to consumers.
They are clearly not giving the best coupon codes and discounts to users.
If you have downloaded Honey, I do recommend removing it from your browser.
I do think that this investigation from Megalag will lead to a huge class action lawsuit against Honey.
So on behalf of creators everywhere, I have filed a class action lawsuit.
We're suing PayPal and Honey. Gamers Nexus is the lead plaintiff in a class action complaint filed against PayPal and its property, Honey.
Well, it's safe to say PayPal's lawyers love my last video. But don't worry, PayPal, you know what they say. All press is good press, right? Let's see. Since releasing part 1 of my investigation, Honey has lost over 6 million users, Google has changed their policies for browser extensions, blocking Honey from claiming undeserved commissions, and most significantly, PayPal has been slammed with over 20 class action lawsuits accusing them of wiretapping, computer hacking, unfair competition, consumer fraud, tortious interference, and unjust enrichment. Yikes, maybe not them. And unfortunately for PayPal, I suspect more lawsuits will be filed following the release of this video. Why? Well, you see, besides lying to consumers and stealing from influencers, Honey was also causing serious harm to small businesses. So much so that I believe brands have likely suffered millions of dollars in damages. But that's not all. In this video, you're also going to learn how Honey was collecting and sharing your data, and how they, in my opinion, illegally targeted minors through influencers such as Mr. Beast. Strong accusations, I know, but I have the receipts. I've reviewed internal data, Honey's source code, their pitch deck to investors.
I'll be right back real quick.
Disturbing emails between Honey and small businesses. I've reviewed interviews and much, much more. You're about to get insights into one of the most scummy, predatory business models I have ever seen. You'll also find out why my investigation has triggered multiple class action lawsuits against other corporate giants such as Microsoft, Capital One, Klarna, Rakuten, and Retail Me Not. Per usual, the views, allegations, and conclusions expressed in this series are my opinions based on evidence I have gathered, which will be shared throughout. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to part 2 of the honey trap.
I actually used to use Rakuten. Kind of interesting. I don't know if anyone here has watched the first video, but it's a good video. This is a good video, or a good series, I guess. So definitely worth watching the first video if you haven't seen it.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
There were many moments throughout this investigation where I thought I'd reached the end of the rabbit hole. I thought I understood everything there was to know about Honey's dirty business model. They were claiming the credit for sales they hadn't earned, poaching the affiliate commissions from content creators, and they were intentionally withholding discounts from users for their own financial gain, rendering the entire value behind their core product a lie. Kinda hard to believe it could get much worse than that, but unfortunately it does. And I realized this after noticing a strange but reoccurring anomaly. You see, in most cases, when Honey popped up at checkout and I clicked Apply Coupons, a discrete tab would open in the top left corner of my browser. That's Honey injecting a simulated referral click, attempting to claim the credit for a sale. But here's where things got weird. Every once in a while, I'd come across a store where, after clicking Apply Coupons...
What's up, Isaiah? Hope you're doing good, bro. Hope you have a good Christmas, bro.
Honey wouldn't load their affiliate link. So why not? At first, I thought it might be a bug, but quickly ruled that out after noticing the same anomaly on multiple websites. Even stranger, when this would happen, I was generally finding better deals. So what gives? Well, for the longest time, I was under the assumption that Honey would only pop up on websites that had agreed to partner with them, but I couldn't have been more wrong. And I realized this after stumbling across a post on Shopify's community forum, where a store owner complained that Honey was leaking their coupon codes without their permission. And as I read through the replies, I could see other stores had the same issue. Now, this was a pivotal moment in my investigation because it turned my entire understanding of Honey's business model upside down. Until now, I was so focused on the impact Honey had on consumers and influencers that I didn't even think to consider the potential impact to businesses. Though in my defense, Honey consistently referred to the 30,000 stores on its platform as participating stores. So one would assume that every store on Honey's platform joined willingly and with consent. Yet clearly, that wasn't the case. So I reached out to several business owners to learn more.
Honey takes the codes that people use on our website, the discount codes, and makes them public to everybody who's using Honey.
We started having problems where customers would get in touch via our support website saying, oh, hey, I just tried to use this discount, this 60% off coupon, and it doesn't work. And I'd be like, we can look into it. Like, dude, that is not your discount. Like, how did you get that? And they'd be like, oh, it just showed up through the Honey extension.
I hadn't heard about Honey before, and I was just hanging out on the couch with my girlfriend, and she made some comment about, oh, this app Honey that basically gives you all these coupon codes, and I think she asked if we were on it. I said no, and then she checked out our website and said, oh, you actually are on it, and it's giving this 15 or 20% discount code. And so that's when I found out about it, and I was pretty shocked because I didn't know how long it had been going on for. Yeah, it cost us thousands, and I haven't even looked into how far back it went, but I know we just ended the code right away.
Now, if you think that sounds bad, well, trust me, it gets a whole lot worse. But first, it's important we understand the scale of this issue. As you just heard, these store owners clearly never consented to being on Honey, so they can't possibly be among the so-called 30,000 participating stores, right? So why was Honey lying to consumers about the true number of stores supported by its platform? And just how many stores did Honey add to its platform without consent? Was it hundreds, thousands, Tens of thousands? Well, that's where things get interesting. You see, when I started combing through the business side of Honey's website, I noticed that Honey claims to only be partnered with 10,000 brands. That's 20,000 less than what they advertise to consumers. So I figured, okay, I guess 10,000 stores intentionally partnered with Honey, and the remaining 20,000 never signed up. Now, that would already be incredibly concerning and deeply misleading. But as it turns out, the deception is far worse than that. You see, as I continued digging, I stumbled across this file from Honey's extension called supported domains, which gets loaded onto your computer when you install Honey. And this file contains a list of over 180,000 online stores. That's a massive discrepancy from what's advertised anywhere on Honey's website. Now, of course, we could start making assumptions based on those numbers alone, but we don't have to, because it just so happens that Honey also keeps detailed information for each of the online stores in this list, and it's relatively easy to access that data. For example, on Chrome, if we click Manage Extensions, turn on Developer Mode, click on the Service Worker for Honey, and click on the Network tab, we can now monitor what Honey does behind the scenes a little closer. So if we say visit apple.com, we can see that Honey is now accessing information from their database related to Apple. Looking at this one in particular, we can see that 2.9 million Honey users visited Apple's website in the past 30 days. We can also see that none of those users saved any money from coupons because, well, Honey has no coupon codes for Apple's website. We can even see internal support and monetization notes that were left by Honey's employees. Interesting. Most importantly, however, we can also see that Honey has an affiliate link for Apple's website, confirming that Apple does have an affiliate partnership with Honey. But if we look at the same data for, say, Abercrombie & Fitch, we can see that Honey doesn't have an affiliate link, yet Honey is still offering coupon codes for that store. And sure enough, if we click Apply Coupons on Abercrombie & Fitch, Honey doesn't load an affiliate link through that infamous sneaky tab. Aha! Things are starting to make more sense. So all I had to do now was collect this data for every store in Honey's database. The only problem is, collecting this data for one store is easy, but doing it for 180,000, that would literally take years. Unless, of course, you created a little program that automated the entire process, crawling through that massive list, scraping Honey's data store by store, and neatly organizing the most relevant data points into a nice, easy to read spreadsheet. Well, that's exactly what we have here, but I can't take any credit for the spreadsheet because this was all the work of someone much better at this stuff than I am, and he goes by the name of Jelte. He's a developer from the Netherlands, awesome guy, and I cannot thank him enough because holy shit, there is a treasure trove of data in this spreadsheet. We now have all the details for every store, every coupon code, every developer note, all curated into one lovely spreadsheet. It's glorious. PayPal will not like me having this data, but too bad. And Jelte will be releasing this data publicly on Twitter shortly following the release of this video. Link to his Twitter is below, so make sure you give him a follow if you want to catch that drop. Alright, so now that we have this spreadsheet, we can finally confirm that at the time this data was collected, Honey supported 35,000 stores with affiliate links and an additional 146,000 stores without affiliate links. So yes, there was some truth to their claim of supporting 30,000 participating stores. They just conveniently left out the eeny-weeny fact that they dragged an additional 146,000 stores onto their platform, presumably without.
And much love, Jeremy. I appreciate you always supporting the stream, bro. Sorry if I am kind of an asshole sometimes. I just try to stay away from the negativity because I don't know, man. I just try to be positive about this investment because I know what it is, you know. I've been doing this stock market stuff for a long time, so like, you know, I just try to stay away. Try to keep people off the negative subjects and try to put a positive twist to the negativity because, you know, I'm in this investment losing money too. Like, it's not just you guys, and I'm probably losing exponentially more than a lot of people. So it's like, if I can keep a level head about it, I expect you guys should be able to as well. But so I don't really mean to try to be like an asshole about it if it seems that way, but I appreciate you, bro. Thank you. Thank you for always supporting the stream. And if I don't see you in the next couple days, have a good Christmas, bro. Enjoy. Enjoy. I should be live tomorrow for a little bit, though. But have a good one, bro. Enjoy your Christmas. Honey's like, yeah, it's like an extension. You get they just give you coupon codes, basically. I'm sure you got it by now. He's explained it pretty well. I didn't want to answer your question because I figured the video would explain it better than I could.
Consent. Now, consider this. If you're Honey and your platform supports 180,000 stores, surely you'd be screaming that from the rooftops, right? 180,000 sounds a whole lot more impressive than 30,000. Honey knows that, so why hide the real number? Clearly, Honey decided that keeping this little secret to themselves outweighed the benefits of advertising it. Now, as a consumer, you might be thinking, so what if Honey leaks a few coupon codes? Even if a business never gave consent, surely that would just drive more sales for the business, right? Well, it's not that simple. Why? Well, you see, coupon codes are more than just discounts for consumers. They're also a vital marketing tool for businesses. Virtually all coupon codes have a strategic purpose behind them. For example, many online stores will offer a 10% discount as an incentive for signing up to their newsletter. The consumer gets a 10% discount, and the business gets your email address for marketing. It's a simple tit-for-tat exchange. But if Honey snatches up that coupon and makes it available to everyone, well, now the business is losing 10% while gaining nothing in return. The entire purpose behind that coupon code gets destroyed, stripping away any incentive for the business to continue offering it. But it's not just newsletter coupons. Stores will also offer discounts to reward and maintain loyalty, like offering exclusive VIP codes to repeat high-value customers. Many businesses will even offer specialty discounts to military veterans or first responders, just to show their appreciation. But also, some businesses have private discount codes like 50 or 80% off that are strictly intended for use by employees or friends and family. So when Honey comes along, finds all of these codes and hands them out like candy to its millions of users, not only does it cause a negative strategic impact, but it also causes significant financial harm. In fact, this has become such a significant problem for online stores that there are now multiple paid services to help e-commerce stores block extensions like Honey. Even well-known retailers are paying to prevent these issues. Now, you might be wondering, how on earth does Honey get access to private coupon codes like employee discounts if they're not available to the public? Well,
I just want to guess, whoever, employees or someone who has access to the computer that creates the coupon codes or something. I'd imagine if the Honey extension's on their browser or something, it can read the coupon code. I don't know. That's just my guess, but I'll be right back real quick. The stream's lagging. Wonder why. I don't have anything open. Yeah. Whatever.
I came across this marketing podcast where they discussed the issue.
What happens is if I have Honey, for example, and I'm one of your best customers at your e-commerce store, and you decide you're going to do a promotion for your VIP customers.
Fuck, I wish, bro. I need some whiskey. Just kidding. I don't even drink. Straight up. I couldn't even tell you the last time I drank alcohol, if I'm being honest. I really don't even remember.
Maybe it's a flash sale and you send me a special code. I go to your website. I legitimately have that code from you. I type it into the promo code field at checkout. Because I have Honey in my browser.
Oh, wait, I do remember, actually. It was in April when I went to Vegas. But before that, I couldn't tell you.
It is able to scrape that code then and give it to everybody who uses it. We've seen codes like Military Hero 30, clearly intended for a veteran. And then in another case,
wow,
even worse, in another case, my CEO found a men's apparel brand where they had a $75 off coupon code, but they didn't set a minimum order value. And so people were able to get unlimited merchandise for free as long as they kept their order value at $75 or under.
Okay, that's insane. But I have to admit, at first, I was a little skeptical of the claim that Honey was snatching codes from users without their consent. Because whenever I entered in a coupon code Honey didn't recognize, the extension would always ask for my permission before taking it, or so I thought. But as it turns out, the moment you type in a coupon code, Honey immediately sends that code directly to their servers, and then they ask for your consent. How do I know? Well, you see, a developer, who would like to remain anonymous, noticed that Honey leaked their source code inside of their iOS app. Whoops. So this developer extracted the code and sent it to me. We can actually further verify this with a live example. Watch what Honey does in the background as I enter in this coupon. Honey realizes that it doesn't have this code yet and asks for my consent to share it. But look at this. Before I've clicked anything, Honey has already sent that coupon code to their server, including the details of how much money that coupon saved me, all without my consent. Now, Honey might argue that if you click don't share, they never actually use those coupons. And maybe they don't. Maybe those codes just sit in their database doing nothing. We can't say for certain. However, if you read Honey's privacy policy, it explicitly states that they collect data such as coupons, promo codes, and deals you found. So while they ask for a user's consent, their privacy policy clearly allows them to take that data without it. So why does this matter? Well, it matters because when private codes get leaked, businesses don't just lose money, they're often left in the dark, unable to trace how those codes were exposed in the first place. I've personally found several coupon codes through Honey that were clearly intended for private use. This one coupon I found worked like a $35 gift voucher, meaning I could make unlimited free orders provided my cart value was $35 or under. When I alerted the business, they appeared to have no idea how the code had been leaked. Now, believe it or not, this nightmare for online stores only gets worse.
So we usually use discount codes as a way to track when influencers or partners are sending traffic to us so that we can identify the sale was attributed to that influencer and pay them a commission. So I think we saw one code started to get used like way more, and we were like, wow, we're paying this influencer so much, they're doing so well, and I was like a little bit suspicious.
A lot of times discount codes are the only way for you to understand if a YouTuber that you love and would love to partner with is actually driving incremental value to your business. Those codes would immediately get picked up by Honey, and then they'd be used hundreds of thousands of times. And you'd be like, all right, like not only does that negatively impact our business, it was for that audience, but we have no idea which podcaster we should continue to support.
Now, if you're someone who listens to podcasts, you probably know exactly what Chip is talking about here. When brands advertise on podcasts, affiliate links aren't always practical. Listeners could be running, driving, or doing the laundry without easy access to a computer. So, instead, brands will provide podcasters with a unique coupon code. And each time the listener uses that coupon code at checkout, the podcaster earns a commission, just like an affiliate link. So these are not your typical coupon codes. Behind them, you have an influencer that's trying to earn a living, you have a business paying to promote their product, and there's usually a contract binding the two together. Regardless, Honey will step in, leak the codes to users, disrupting that business relationship. The result? Not only do brands end up losing money from the leaked discounts, on top of that, they're now forced to pay undeserved commissions to the influencers whose codes got leaked. It's easy to imagine how quickly something like this could spiral out of control. In fact, one business owner on Twitter reported losing $100,000 from this exact issue, and he only realized it happening several months later. It's no laughing matter. And if you think this is a huge win for influencers because they get paid a bunch of undeserved commissions, well, think again.
I mean, we basically pulled all out of the podcast realm because there was really no way to figure out how to attribute any successes or failures.
We basically can't do that anymore because as soon as a code becomes used by one person, it's suddenly used by everybody.
This is a nightmare situation for everyone involved, but not all businesses are affected equally. Honey's actions are especially devastating for small businesses that lack the resources of larger brands. The big retailers can push back. They have dedicated marketing teams, advanced analytic tools, and the legal muscle to respond. Smaller businesses, on the other hand, don't have that luxury. So when a multi-billion-dollar company like PayPal piles on more obstacles, it's not just frustrating, it's downright predatory. In fact, Made in Cookware CEO Chip perfectly summed up the devastating impact Honey's actions can have on a small business.
When you're in the early stages of building a business, you're in the stage of, will this company even work? Is there product market fit? How do I scale this thing? Can the economics work, right? And so all the things we talked about, these discount codes and the kind of removal of attribution and killing margin, like those really affect the early stages of a company, from everything from where do I put the next dollar in to make sure I can survive, down to you're taking 10, 15, 20% of my sales without me wanting it. And we have digital marketing costs, we have shipping costs, we have all these stacks of costs that not only are getting more inflated over time, like FedEx has been raising their rates over time, warehousing costs have gone up, COGS have gone up, as you know, through inflation for the last 4 or 5 years, right? Like all the cost structures have been going up, and to have someone just stealing and compressing the actual revenue you want, like puts small businesses in a real squeeze. It's just really disappointing, and it doesn't even work, because at the end of the day, like, you need to make the numbers work. And
oh my god, he said squeeze, we're going to the moon! I'm kidding. I'm joking.
If Honey is going to steal 10% of your revenue all the time, you're going to have to raise prices at the end of the day to make up for that, right? And so it's not only not effective, but it makes it worse for the consumer. It compresses for the small business owner any margin, and it's just like a really awful business model. Like, we've been so mad at them for so long.
Really sad. And Chip's point about the impact to consumers is especially important. If Honey's eroding profit margins from retailers and they're forced to increase prices, well, that ultimately affects consumers. Now, as you'd expect, these businesses don't just let these issues slide. Naturally, they reach out to Honey to complain, asking to be removed from the platform. And that, unfortunately, is where the story takes a much darker turn. You see, Honey is well aware of the inconvenience it creates for these online stores. So when they inevitably reach out to Honey, asking to be removed, does Honey oblige? Of course not. Instead, Honey goes, how about this? We'll give you full control over which coupons go live on our platform, but only if you partner with us. I kid you not. In fact, Chip was kind enough to share his email exchanges with Honey from 2020, and you need to see it because holy shit, it's bad. Now, it is a long email chain, so I'm not going to read the entire thing, but you're welcome to pause to read the bits I skim over. Hi, I am the CEO of Made in Cookware. Please remove us from your app. You've scraped a private friends and family code from our checkout and put it on the platform for others to use. We've lost a bunch of revenue. 4 days later, Honey responds with, hi Chip, thanks for reaching out. Honey supports over 40,000 stores online, and we always prioritize protecting the Honey experience for users by supporting available stores and displaying available codes. We can absolutely remove the code in question. In order to protect the Honey experience for our users, we typically do not remove codes unless we have a working relationship. I mean, right off the bat, they're basically saying, we won't compromise the experience for our users unless you pay us. Classy. We'd love to discuss how we can work more closely and partner with your brand. Chip replies the same day, we don't offer affiliate deals to coupon sites. We'd like to be removed from your site and extension completely. With the sales pitch not going to plan, Honey brings in their global partnerships manager, Kelly Rodek, who explains to Chip that his leak code was added through Honey's user-generated coupon functionality. No surprises there. She completely ignores his request to be removed from the platform, only offering to remove the leaked employee discount. Chip replies the same day, our friends and family code was listed on your site. That was an internal code meant for a small group of people that was never published anywhere. A whole site can't be removed from your app? Honey only responds a week later, confirming they removed the employee discount, but again, completely ignores Chip's request to be removed from Honey. Chip responds immediately, pushing for an answer, but they ignore his email completely. A month later, and Honey leaks another private discount code. Hi, please remove from your app. That is a private code behind a private employee perk login. This should never be public. I don't understand how you feel taking a private employee perk and making that public to the world is helping our business. Honey responds confirming they removed the code, but instead of taking responsibility, they try shifting the blame onto Chip, suggesting his employees might be responsible for sharing the code with Honey. But given what we know about their system, I'm willing to bet Honey were responsible for the leak, not Chip's employees. Honey then suggests that Chip creates single-use codes for each and every employee, essentially making it his responsibility to fix a problem they created in the first place. I would be fuming if this were my business. 2 months later, and another private code gets leaked, and once again, Chip asks to be completely removed from the platform. And this time, Honey finally addresses the question. We proudly host a consistent shopping experience for all Honey shoppers who rely on our shopping tools. Therefore, we cannot disable Honey for individual stores, and never have. Never have, huh? Well, that's interesting, because it just so happens that Andrew from TrueGrit Texture Supply also shared his email exchange with Honey. And would you believe it? He was dealing with the exact same Honey employee as Chip. And while Honey attempted the same sales pitch with Andrew, they did eventually remove his store from the platform. So yes, it is possible, and yes, they have done it before. Once again, we've caught Honey in yet another calculated and deliberate lie. And make no mistake, it was deliberate because this employee, Kelly, confirmed the removal of Andrew's store just 1 month before assuring Chip that Honey had never removed a store before. Honey clearly has the capability to remove stores, they just choose to enforce that decision selectively. Keep in mind, Honey knows exactly how many of their users are visiting a given store and how much they are spending. So I'd speculate that this selective enforcement comes entirely down to which stores Honey believes will make them the most money. Now for the record, I didn't even get through that entire email chain between Chip and Honey. It goes on, and this behavior is not an isolated incident. It's a pattern.
When merchants discover their codes have leaked and then they want to clamp down.
Yeah, have a good one, Survive and Thrive. Appreciate you always supporting the stream, bro. Enjoy your Christmas if I don't see you. God bless, bro, and enjoy.
On that, they go to these coupon extensions and plea and request to have their codes removed. And 9 times out of 10, the response is join our affiliate program and you'll have more granular control over that. And so I think merchants tend to feel a little bit as though they're being blackmailed or extorted, because you join the affiliate program and then you have to pay that coupon extension company every time somebody uses a code. And you're doing that in order to have them not share your codes.
I mean, this has got to be one of the most f***ed up business models I have ever seen. And let's be real about what's going on here. In my opinion, it's economic extortion. Just think about it. Imagine one day deciding to start your own business. You've saved up all this money and invested it all into this one big idea. You're taking on a huge risk. And as you navigate the daily struggles of running a business, a bad actor sneaks into your store without you ever noticing. They quietly start collecting coupons from your customers and start handing them out at your checkout counter. Then one day, you notice a customer with a voucher that was clearly never intended for them, and you have absolutely no idea how they got it. But when you eventually catch the culprit and demand that they leave your store, they refuse, and there's nothing you can do about it. Knowing this, the bad actor leverages the harm they manufactured by strong-arming you into signing a partnership deal, where the only way to stop the damage they created is by paying them. Honey's business model starts to make a lot more sense now, doesn't it? It makes sense why they dragged 146,000 stores onto their platform and kept quiet about it. Because by doing so, they wedged themselves between those stores and their customers, disrupting, interfering, and ultimately taking control over their coupon strategies. And the only way for those stores to regain some of that control is by paying Honey. I mean, why else would any of these stores partner with and pay Honey if they're already on the platform for free? The answer is simple. The stores don't pay for inclusion, they pay for exclusion, for damage control. It makes sense. Now, to be clear, I'm not suggesting that all of Honey's 35,000 partnered stores were coerced into joining their platform. I'm sure many signed up willingly. After all, Honey does offer a cashback program, which some stores genuinely like to offer users. And just look at the glowing case studies on Honey's website. Some of the numbers they throw around make partnering with Honey look like an absolute no-brainer. Increased average order value, reduced cart abandonment, that's music to the ears of any e-commerce store owner. But of course, if the benefits were truly as good as they say, you'd expect that brands who partner with Honey never look back, right? Well, here's a little statistic Honey doesn't want brands to see, and it's from their own data. This right here is a list of stores that, at some point, tried a partnership with Honey, then decided, yeah, no thanks, and ended the partnership. There's 15,000 of them. That's 15,000 brands that, at some point, were partnered with Honey, but no longer are. And this is based on the limited data I have access to. The actual number is potentially a lot higher. I think that says a lot more about the value Honey can bring to businesses than any of their case studies.
It's easier than ever to make a custom video ad, reach new customers.
Given everything we've uncovered about Honey so far, it really makes you wonder, why on earth would a Fortune 500 company like PayPal sink $4 billion into buying this company? Sure, Honey was making some sweet affiliate revenue, but still, that's a lot of money. To put that price tag into perspective, the platform you're watching this on, YouTube, was acquired for just $1.6 billion. Combine that with the acquisitions of Instagram and Twitch, and it still equates to less than what PayPal paid for Honey, a coupon browser extension. Well, Honey brought more to the table for PayPal than its ability to churn out mountains of cash. They also had 17 million users worth of data, and as it turns out, lots of it. Remember in the last episode how I said, if a product's free, it's likely you're the product? Well, we're at that part of the story now. You see, while Honey was handing out bottom of the barrel coupon codes, they were also tracking your shopping habits and collecting a ton of data along the way. In fact, Amazon of all companies began warning users that Honey was a security risk, stating, Honey tracks your private shopping behavior, collects data like your order history and items saved, and can read and change any of your data on any website you visit. They even recommended uninstalling the extension. That was somewhat surprising to me, given how much Honey played into the whole "you can trust us with your data" narrative.
Actually free, not like selling all your personal data free.
Does Honey sell user data?
No.
This prompted me to investigate Honey's data collection practices, and what I found was, unsurprisingly at this point, pretty darn concerning. Hilariously, the first thing I noticed when auditing Honey's website was that they explicitly assured users that, hey, what we don't do is sell or share your data. But the moment you click the link to their privacy policy, the first thing you see is how we share your data. Excuse me? Red flag number one. Now, this privacy policy was packed with vague language when it came to what data they were collecting and how they were sharing it. So I dug deeper and came across this incredible investigation by a German nonprofit called Data Request, who advocate for data privacy online. And they dug into Honey's data collection practices by submitting what's known as a GDPR right of access request. For those unfamiliar, under European law, anyone living in Europe can ask a company, no matter where it's located, for a copy of all the personal data that company has collected on them. So, two of their members, Benny and Malta, both Honey users, each submitted a GDPR request. Their data revealed that Honey was systematically tracking their browsing activity across every website it considered to be an online store. They also collected timestamps, unique user IDs, device IDs, operating system info, geolocation details, and the full URL of the page visited. Now, Data Request showed that from these logs alone, Honey could infer some incredibly personal insights about a user. Here are just a few examples from Benny's data that was collected in 2020. Honey could see that on February 13th at 2:57 PM, Benny viewed an iFixit guide on how to swap the DVD lens on a Nintendo Wii. They could see that Benny checked an AliExpress order 13 times, his order ID fully visible, including the fact he opened a dispute for the order. They could see he had a Microsoft Family plan and that he added a new family member to his Office 365 account. Honey also knew that Benny looked for an Airbnb in Berlin for 2 adults from the 4th to the 5th of March. And apparently Benny had issues with his iPhone because he viewed an Apple support page on how to reset his passcode. On March 23rd at around 5 p.m, Benny watched a documentary called Scanning the Pyramids on CuriosityStream, a service he subscribed to just an hour earlier through YouTuber Tom Scott's affiliate link. And apparently Benny's a gamer because he redeemed a game on Steam with the serial code 5HGP6. You get the point. All that information could be inferred from just 27 page views, but in total, Honey collected over 2,500 pages of web activity between just February and May of 2020, meaning what I just read to you represents only 1% of the total data Honey collected within a 3-month window. That is insane. Now, while Benny willingly registered an account with Honey, Malta, on the other hand, didn't. Yet Honey collected the same data from him as well, suggesting whether you formally register an account with Honey or simply installed the extension, Honey was harvesting the same data regardless. Huge shout out to Data Request for their work. I'll link their full investigation below. They also have a great tool where eligible consumers can easily request a copy of their data from companies like Honey and also request to have that data deleted. Definitely check that out and consider supporting their nonprofit. So as you can see, it starts to make a lot more sense why a company like PayPal would fork out so much money for this platform. Honey was sitting on a treasure trove of data that provided detailed insights into its users' shopping habits. Honey could see what users were buying, how they shopped, what they searched for, the decisions they made before checkout, and even the services they considered but didn't purchase. That information is invaluable to a payments platform like PayPal. But don't just take my word for it. Here's Honey's former senior manager of partnerships, Daniel Pilkington, discussing the benefits of Honey's data for their partnered merchants.
One of the metrics that we assess very frequently for merchants that work with Honey is, cross-store shopping. So, how many other stores is a user visiting as well as the store in question? Are they going to 6 stores? Are they going to 7 stores? Are they going to 10 stores before they make a decision on where to purchase?
And here's another former senior partnerships manager.
So one of the things we have insight into at Honey, because we're a browser extension and we can see our shoppers and how they shop, is that shoppers love to cross-site comparison shop. We're really kind of following the shopper where they go, and we're with them every step of the way. We have all sorts of tools to make those consumers stickier to those direct-to-consumer brands.
And here's a former PayPal executive discussing how beneficial the data is for their goals.
We've got a full suite of solutions across our consumer platforms that help drive new customers, that help drive loyalty, that help drive conversion, and ultimately sales lift. And we have a lot of analytics and a lot of data, a lot of shopper data, obviously, and that's something that we can unlock on behalf of our partners.
You've got to hand it to Honey. They've truly mastered the art of selling bullshit narratives. To users, they promise privacy, insisting, hey, we never sell or share your data. But to their merchants, they literally bragged about how much of your data they had and how it could be leveraged to provide them with valuable insights into your shopping habits. It's genuinely astounding. Now, for clarity, those interviews were all recorded after PayPal's acquisition of Honey. So, is this simply a case of a corporate giant turning a once well-intentioned startup into a data harvesting machine? Nope. In fact, data collection was part of Honey's game plan well before they were acquired by PayPal. This right here is Honey's pitch deck to investors from back in 2015. On the business model slide, Honey clearly labels personalized offers to consumers based on cross-site comparison shopping data as a core component of their business strategy. And on the very next slide, proudly entitled Our Unfair Advantage, it explicitly states Honey's unique data allows us to predict what each user is about to buy, when they intend to purchase, and how much they are willing to pay. They even itemized the data collected as user behavioral data, stores visited, products viewed, and of course, your purchase history. So not only was data collection top of mind from the very beginning, but they were already actively collecting it and pitching that data to investors as a valuable asset. For years, Honey framed data collection as minimal and purely in service of saving users money. Well, it appears they were full of shit. And to be clear, I'm not suggesting that Honey was selling your data to third parties for cash. Well, at least I found no evidence of that. But were they quietly monetizing your data behind the scenes, sharing insights with partnered merchants while conveniently leaving that detail out of their privacy policy? Well, it sure looks that way to me. One thing is for certain, however, and that's that Honey sold your data to PayPal, one of the largest online payment platforms in the world. PayPal didn't spend billions of dollars for a simple coupon extension. They were buying a window into your life as a consumer. And here's why that should worry you.
PayPal launches an ad network. PayPal has officially said it will be launching an ad network that will sell ads leveraging the data it collects on the purchase history and spending of its 400 million users. This change would also likely affect users of PayPal subsidiaries like Venmo and Honey, and I believe there's more as well, but I'm not surprised Honey's in there.
Nice. This is like terrible.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Now, to make this whole data collection issue 100 times worse, something else caught my eye while reading through Honey's privacy policy. Right at the very bottom, Honey states that, quote, "We created Honey for the exclusive use of adults, 18 and older, and we don't knowingly collect or solicit personal information from children." Yeah, you see, now there's just one problem with that.
I have a challenge for all of you. Go to every computer in your house, your mom's, your dad's, your sister, your brother's computer, and install Honey.
That's right. Not only did Honey and PayPal knowingly collect data from minors, but they intentionally targeted them in their advertising. That's not just unethical, it's potentially illegal in numerous jurisdictions. Many countries have very strict regulations when it comes to the collection of personal data from minors, and for good reason. Therefore, if you intend on having minors use your product, many jurisdictions require that you obtain parental consent first. But this adds all kinds of technical and legal complexities, which is why many platforms simply limit the use of their service to adults only in their privacy policy, which was Honey's approach. But if Honey were genuinely trying to avoid having kids on their platform, they probably shouldn't have sponsored one of the most popular influencers in the world, whose key demographic of followers is, well, this. But Honey did sponsor Mr. Beast, and those videos garnered a whopping 3 billion views, making him Honey's #1 sponsor. In fact, according to my data, Mr. Beast sponsorships represent over 1/3 of Honey's total sponsored views on YouTube. But it wasn't just Mr. Beast. Honey sponsored many channels whose content was, in my opinion, clearly targeted at minors. They sponsored Minecraft channels, Roblox channels, cartoon channels. I mean, just watch this video and tell me it's not targeted at children.
This video is sponsored by Honey.
If Honey wanted to target minors so badly, they should have just sponsored one. Oh, wait a minute, that's exactly what they did. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Desiree Machado, who at the time was just 14 years old.
Guys, I'm only 14.
Hilariously, one of her videos that Honey sponsored is appropriately titled Back to School. Honey even ran her sponsored segment as a paid advert on YouTube. Now, speaking of paid adverts, let's quickly circle back to that Mr. Beast ad, because of all the evidence, this has got to be the single worst example of Honey intentionally targeting minors. Let me play it again.
I have a challenge for all of you. Go to every computer in your house, your mom's, your dad's, your sister, your brother's computer, and install Honey.
They are literally encouraging kids to install a browser extension that tracks and collects data onto every computer in their household, including those belonging to their siblings. That is fucking insane. And the emojis? I mean, come on! And look, this is not a good look for Mr. Beast either. Influencers have a duty of care to ensure that any advertising they engage in is compliant with relevant advertising laws, especially when your audience skews young. Of course, I did reach out to Mr. Beast and his team for comment, but never heard back from them. Now, in case you're still not convinced that this was intentional, because, I don't know, perhaps Honey had a rogue marketing team that was poorly aligned with upper management, well, here's a few words from Honey's former president, Joanne Bradford, talking about the benefits of working with Mr. Beast.
We launched it with gamers playing YouTube on their desktop. And a little gamer
called Mr. Beast. So we were his first advertiser, and we did a deal with him. His collective ads, I think, have been seen, you know, I'm going to say billions,
Yeah.
3 plus close to 4 billion times.
Wow.
Every kid in America knows what honey is. Every kid in America was telling their moms and their dads they needed to download, you know, honey in order to save money.
Oh, they weren't just telling their mums and dads to install honey, they were installing it themselves. My 5-year-old brother installed honey on his computer? Wow, kids start saving money earlier and earlier these days. And here's Honey's co-founder, Ryan Hudson, discussing how Honey leveraged the credibility that influencers have with their audience.
We learned how to work with influencers, in particular on YouTube, to lean into the credibility that they have with their audiences, the ability to speak the language of their audience, and it's been incredible for us. And so we've done, if you watch YouTube or you have kids that watch YouTube, they have seen, if you watch Mr. Beast,
it's a lot of honey.
A lot of honey.
This was no accident. Honey's leadership knew what they were doing, and they knew it worked well. That Mr. Beast ad alone has 118 million paid ad views, the highest of any Honey ad on YouTube, which strongly suggests it was also their best performer. Honey likely invested millions into this ad alone. Honestly, it's genuinely shocking they've gotten away with it for so long. Now, given everything we've uncovered so far, you might be wondering how on earth there could be more to this investigation. Well, while Honey was the first extension of its kind, unfortunately, they certainly weren't the last. There are now hundreds of coupon and cashback extensions. And while I haven't investigated all of them to the same extent that I have with Honey, many of them engage in similar behavior, especially when it comes to poaching affiliate commissions. And that's why there are now multiple class action lawsuits targeting these other companies. Influencers haven't just been losing money to one sleazy salesman at checkout, they've been losing money to an army of them. In my opinion, these extensions are nothing but leeches. They are parasites in the world of e-commerce. In fact, I've encountered so much shady behavior with these extensions that I felt it was necessary to create my own browser extension to alert me anytime an affiliate cookie is loaded onto my browser. It's called Cookie Guard, and it's especially helpful because some of these extensions will load their affiliate link in ways that are completely invisible to the user. For example, if you click to copy a coupon on Honey, it looks like a harmless feature because you don't see that sneaky tab opening in the corner, but with Cookie Guard installed, you can see that behind the scenes, they are quietly stuffing their cookie through what's known as a hidden iframe. You can Google it. Even worse, I found that the extension Karma Now would stuff their cookie the moment you landed on a checkout page. Completely automated, no interaction with their extension required. They also had a system that could detect when you used a competitor's extension, like Honey, and they would wait for that extension's affiliate link to load, then immediately override it with their own. Again, no interaction with their app required. It's insane. And this sort of malicious behavior is not exclusive to browser extensions. Even Microsoft couldn't resist the temptation of easy affiliate money and decided to offer coupons directly from the Edge browser. Watch what happens when I visit my NordVPN affiliate link. Once I've clicked on one of their coupons, Microsoft immediately replaced my affiliate cookie with their own, poaching the sale. And when I tried to reload my affiliate link to reinstate my cookie, it comes back momentarily, but Microsoft quickly and automatically replaces it again with their own. I mean, damn Microsoft, people hate your browser enough as it is. And how about Opera's browser? They recently stopped this, but for some time, if you simply entered the URL of a store that they were partnered with and clicked their autocomplete suggestion, Opera considered that fair game to inject their affiliate link and claim the sale. Affiliate marketing has truly become a war of the cookies. I could go on and on with these examples. Now, this all begs the question, how the fuck is all of this being allowed? Are there no rules in place to prevent this behavior? Well, as it turns out, yes, there are in fact plenty of rules in place that should have prevented much of what I have uncovered in this investigation. So, why hasn't it? Well, that's where greed and incentives comes into the equation. You see, so far we have only discussed two key players in affiliate marketing, merchants and affiliates. Merchants want to sell their products and services, and affiliates want to promote those products and services for a commission. Pretty straightforward. But there's another crucial player that we haven't yet discussed, and that is the affiliate networks. Affiliate networks are like dating apps for the industry. They allow merchants and affiliates to easily discover one another, connect, and work together. These networks also take care of all the technical stuff like the affiliate tracking links, reporting, and commission payments. But most importantly, these networks also set the rules. They are the gatekeepers. Some of the largest networks in this industry are Awin, Commission Junction, Impact, and Rakuten Advertising. Now, not only do these networks have their own strict policies, at least on paper, but on top of that, over a decade ago, most of these networks collectively agreed to enforce 2 codes of conduct. One for downloadable softwares, like extensions, and the other for all affiliates that promote coupon codes. And the rules set out in these codes prohibit many of the behaviors uncovered in this video. So why aren't these networks enforcing their own bloody rules? Well, for every sale made in affiliate marketing, these networks also get a slice of the pie. They generally charge between 20 and 30% of each and every commission paid. There are some variations, of course. Not all networks have the same rates and pricing structures, but the core principle is almost always the same. The more money that flows through these extensions, the more the networks get paid. So when these networks enforce rules resulting in a loss of income for the extensions, they too take a hit. Enforcing their own rules basically means shooting themselves in the foot. That kind of incentive structure doesn't just fail to prevent fraud, it practically invites it. Part 3 is going to be huge, and that was supposed to be the next video in the series. But that's not the video you're going to see next. In the next video, I'm going to be exposing a secret system buried deep within Honey's code that was never meant to see the light of day. The system was engineered specifically to bypass one of the most important rules in affiliate marketing, a rule intended to protect influencers from the very commission theft demonstrated in my last video. And that rule is known in the industry as stand down. Stand down essentially means that extensions must detect if a user has already clicked on someone else's affiliate link, and if they have, the extension must deactivate itself and not interfere. Yet, during my testing, Honey virtually never stood down. Suddenly, however, Honey began complying much more frequently, and this change in compliance didn't smell right to me. So I started digging. And that's one of the reasons why this video was delayed for so long. Because as it turns out, Honey wasn't just ignoring stand-down rules, the system they created was designed explicitly to bypass it, while hiding that behavior from compliance testers. And I have all the evidence to prove it. In fact, what I found was so shocking that I consulted with a respected security researcher who was able to independently verify and validate my discovery. The behavior I'm describing, in my opinion, likely constitutes criminal behavior. And in a few days, everyone will learn about the greatest heist in affiliate history.
They're attempting to stand down as little as possible while avoiding getting caught. Those objectives are in tension, of course. The more you don't stand down, the more you're likely to get caught for not standing down. So they're trying to figure out in what circumstances can they avoid standing down and not face a material risk of being caught.
Damn, that was a good-ass documentary. That was long, though. That was quite long. Well, I don't think there's anyone here. So, I guess I'm out of here. Hope you guys have a good Christmas. Appreciate you supporting the stream. God bless ya. I'll maybe stream tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But either way, I appreciate you guys always supporting the stream, whoever's here. And I'll see you guys soon. Later!